Welcome everyone to podcast number 45.
45!
We're going to catch up with the recent film and TV news we've been watching over the last month. And the second part of the podcast, we're going to be discussing the Hannibal TV series, the 3 seasons.
Yes.
And then, of course, in the third part of the podcast, we will be answering your questions. So I will just apologise to my co-host right off the bat for drinking until the early hours of this morning.
Dude, that intro is really good. You could barely tell you're nearly dead.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to sleep well. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Yeah. What have you guys been up to? I'm going to throw it right over so I can.
I'll go first and let you rest on this one.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, what have I been doing? So I haven't really watched anything sort of like new. I watched Multiverse of Madness. Obviously, we got
Yes.
that one.
And we also Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we
all
also
seen
saw it,
Doctor Strange.
That was
Sam Raimi. Nearly 10 years without a Raimi movie.
That was good, man. You know, like big old scary horror vibes. Evil book. Sam Raimi has entered the MCU. You know, what more do you want, really? So it was really good. I really enjoyed it as a film. I know a lot of people. We've had the backlash of like, oh, there was supposed to be 1,000 cameos. There wasn't. Get over it. It was still a good film. Other than that, I've been painting. I think I mentioned last month, like I've been painting again, doing like back in the Warhammer 40k. So I've had stuff on in the background, and I decided I was going to rewatch all the Alien movies.
Nice.
That was nice. And then I decided I'm going to watch the Predator movies, and then I even ended up watching like Alien versus Predator again.
Oh, nice. And Requiem.
Yeah, it's funny
Requiem.
because you watch. I was like watching AVP and I was sort of about like 3/4 of the way through thinking, God, this is a heinous piece of shit. And then I watched Requiem and I was like, you know what, AVP weren't that bad.
In comparison to that,
it weren't that bad. But it's you know when you rewatch something though that you kind of, even when it's something bad and you kind of go like, so I mean I rewatched Prometheus and Covenant and I found
After
myself...
you've watched Alien 3.
Yeah.
So you've watched Aliens, Alien 3. Alien 3's got a lot of hatred, but you know you've got Prometheus
I like
and
Alien
Covenant.
3 though.
Oh, exactly.
I like
Alien 3.
But when you got the Prometheus and Covenant, like, how did you feel knowing the Alien 3 storyline up to that point?
I had nothing to do with it really, so I didn't... Yeah, no, it was just more that sort of like, because I was like, okay, I know that these aren't great.
Yeah.
But you kind of find yourself looking for like visually it's kind of good.
Oh, yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like you
visually,
do that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you know,
all I have
the
for it.
necromorph thing in the fucking second one was cool. It was just like, again, I hate stuff where they like, oh, this care about this person.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, we're going to kill them off screen. So fuck that person, by the way. You know,
that's
I
why
hate that kind of
I
shit.
like Prometheus as a standalone movie.
The bit in Covenant where she walks into the medical bay with the shotgun and slips on the blood.
Yeah, you got to be some kind of dumbass. That's a big problem. Is most of that crew are fucking dumbasses.
Yeah,
yeah. So I watched those. I rewatched all of the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay, the trilogy.
So So I'm all cried out. So
Nice.
that's done.
Nice.
I think that was about it. And the only other news I suppose is I got tickets for Clash at the Castle, which is a WWE event.
Yes.
September. It's 2 days after my 40th birthday. So
nice.
Me and a bunch of people from work are gonna go, and I'll be pissed up in Cardiff. Sat on the floor watching wrestling. It's gonna be fucking sweet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What a way to spend your 40th. Ian?
Paralytic, probably.
Well, I mean, I wrote down some specific things that I'd done. See, I've got my scrap of paper, and actually, it was like three things.
Okay.
I specifically,
Very large piece of paper.
Well, yeah, with domino pad. Like I
Kind of could have done
specifically
that on
did
your hand.
like
Is all I'm saying.
3 things over the month so that I could talk about them in the podcast. Because I always end up talking about work, wrestling. I mean, I hope everyone's enjoyed the reviews, the edits that have gone up. Eddie. I mean,
Eddie was a classic.
Eddie was a piece of shit. Like you want to talk bad movies when people say Doctor Strange 2 was a bad movie, watch Eddie.
Yeah.
No.
But I read from beginning to end, Have a Nice Day, Mick Foley's book.
Oh, that's
Nice.
a good book. I like that book.
I'd had it for years and always wanted to read it, but...
Oh, is that the first time you read it?
That's the first time I'd ever
right.
probably read it. And it's like just being on the road with him. He's making you feel like you're with him while he's writing about all these road stories, him growing up.
It's not ghost written either, is it?
No, it's actually him.
He wrote it. Which
so
is rare, obviously.
Everything's from memory,
Yeah.
and so he's talking about all of his matches. So then I was going back and I was watching old school matches of Mick Foley. Awesome book if you can get your hands on it. It's like a memoir. Properly just reading this guy's life story. Obviously, Doctor Strange 2, like, I didn't expect it to be really good. So when I went in there, I was like, just here to see a Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell epic on screen. if you told me when we watched Spider-Man 2, you know, when Sam Raimi had done Spider-Man 2, oh, don't worry, Sam Raimi's going to do a Doctor Strange movie
20 years from now,
I'd be like, oh, fuck off.
You know what's funny is if you were watching Spider-Man 2 as well, I'd be telling you he's also going to use the exact same ending because he does.
Yeah. And
spoilers, sorry.
I mean, it was just absolutely brilliant. But I also got to see RoboCop on the big screen, and I'd like to just pre-warn people now because I'm going to rant. And my language might get a bit blue.
Oh, give me a pep. And sit all over me again.
And I really do want to hold back. But man, you will all agree with me.
You've seen RoboCop before, right?
I have, man. It was RoboCop 4K 35th anniversary. It was the director's cut on the big screen. I was praying to whatever gods would listen, that nobody would ever else would want to like actually go there that night. So I'd go there and the cinema would be empty. I was praying. I went to work all day yesterday, dealt with everything in work. Get to the cinema's packed. Screen 13, not the biggest
They are
screen.
usually, dude.
Yeah, but for RoboCop, it's packed.
Okay.
And I'm sat down in my seat. I've got my buddy next to me, and he's got his friend next to him as well. The three of us are sat there. And this guy and his girlfriend come walking in. And I look at this girl, and I'm thinking, this bitch should not be watching RoboCop. Pardon my French.
Why? How old was she?
She was maybe 28, maybe 30.
What the fuck?
Well, let's just say from my experience of being around humans for now on 40 odd years, she looked more like she wanted to be at home watching Love Island than watching RoboCop.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay, right, okay, I'll carry on. So she comes in and she sits down, and it becomes quite aware to me and my friends at the same time that she's not interested in seeing RoboCop. The boyfriend's interested in seeing RoboCop. And she's just kind of come along with him. So she sat down right next to me on my left. On my motherfucking... Like, I'm here, she's here. And she's talking.
Oh,
yeah. She was talking. And I'm not just saying, like, she started talking mid-point during the movie and just wouldn't shut up. I'm saying that she was talking to him during the bit where fucking Finn from Star Wars says, hey, switch off, stop talking. So all the loud bits are happening, and she's talking to her boyfriend about some shit, which I wasn't eavesdropping. I was trying not to listen, but when you're in a fucking room and everybody else is fucking quiet and she's fucking not, and she's right next to you, you can
send up a flare, dude.
hear some shit. You know, they're talking about some friends that they didn't like or she didn't like, and he's telling her not to worry about it or some shit. And
Were you like, I wouldn't like you either.
So I'm like,
sounds to me like your friends are justified.
okay, let's just say, our point during the movie, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I say something to her and he gets involved and I hit him, and then she looks like the kind of type that she's going to get involved because we live in Plymouth.
I'm going to fucking hit this bitch as well. Like.
And I have to hit her as well.
Oh boy.
And then, like, I'm thinking, would I be justified explaining to people that I had to defend myself because they were talking in the middle of fucking RoboCop in 4K on the big screen? But it gets better. It gets better, ladies and gentlemen, because it was obvious that she didn't know what the fuck she was watching. Because you know the point where Kenny gets blown the fuck up?
Were there no other seats? Because I'd have literally moved. I'd have made a point of moving.
Nah, man. My seat was perfect. Like I had
clearly wasn't.
I had visually I had the best view of RoboCop in the house. Right when Kenny gets shot at the beginning, and we're talking blood squibs, we're talking ED 209,
over the top, gratuitous,
so good,
glorious,
fucking holes this big in him.
She turns to her man and she goes, "What year was this?" And he's like, 1987. She's like, "Oh, you can tell." And I'm like, okay, let's just go with it. And so she starts nattering halfway through. They got up and left.
Well, both of them.
Oh, so it's a good story.
20 minutes before the end. So
Oh,
RoboCop.
dude, for a minute, I thought you were going to say 20 minutes in. I'd be like, well, what the fuck? That's not too bad, but 20 minutes.
20 minutes towards the end.
Fuck,
20. But she's been talking, and I've been ignoring, and I've been watching RoboCop, and like I said, it was fucking glorious watching RoboCop in 4K on the big screen. One of the best experiences you could ever have. I'm never going through it again because I had some fucking, pardon my French, crazy bitch sat next to me who just wouldn't stop talking. And at the 20-minute mark, so RoboCop has just been shot the fuck up. He's dropped ED-209 down the stairs. He's got shot up by the fucking army.
Sorry,
in the back
I can
of the car.
just see him at the bottom of the stairs. This shit is amazing. It's still funny. I bet it's better in 4K. Yeah.
And yeah, so RoboCop's being driven off, and Clarence Boddicer's getting the fucking big state-of-the-art bang-bangs out of his car.
Yeah.
And just as he's doing that, she's just like, I swear, like I said, I wasn't listening, but when you're in a room full of silence, and I swear at one point she turned to her boyfriend and she's like, are you really satisfied with this movie? Are you really satisfied?
What a weird question.
I was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to watch this movie. Why are you even... Just sit down with your man. If he's wanting to watch the movie... I couldn't tell if, like, maybe he'd wanted to come and just dragged her along. Or
I don't think it was her idea.
like,
From the
she, I
sound.
don't from the same
All you can do is like all you got to do is do something real passive aggressive, like pull out your phone like this in the middle of the cinema, sit there and just be like, "Oh, dude, I just got to tweet something." Sat next to a rude cunt in send
Man,
like that.
But
Just
you
do
say
that.
that, but like I said, I'd have been then having to fight two people in the middle of a cinema during the middle of RoboCop, so I'd be disrupting absolutely everybody. So I endured, and it kind of paid off because 20 minutes before the end, she gets up and she's like, sorry, and she walks past us, and the boyfriend gets up.
Honestly, I would have just asked her to be quiet.
He goes to go left, and he realizes there's no stairs at the end there, so he has to turn around and come back.
All the way back.
And walk off, and I sat there and watched Clarence Boddicker and his fucking Emil getting hit by the car in 4K on the big screen.
The big splatter.
Oh man, fucking Clarence getting a stab in the neck. Yeah.
Well, I had a similar-ish horror story at the cinema when I went to see Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Where, of course, I'm sat down, got my friend next to me, empty seat to my left, I'm just like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes before the film starts, in comes an entire family. one woman and 5 kids. And they all come up and file in on the left row, all the way along my left. It's just like...
Oh man, yeah.
And this kid had all the sweets, all the fizzy drinks, all the sugar. So before the film even started,
You look at him like, you better be able to tie a knot in that, young man. Like...
He was vibrating, he was shaking his seat,
Oh,
so
no.
my seat was shaking, so my friend's seat was shaking. It was just like, here we go.
No,
Here we go. The thing is, he calmed down once the film started, but once any action was happening or superhero stuff was happening, he was arms in the air, cheering, hollering, shaking the seat. And I was like, I'm not saying nothing. Like, this kid is having the fucking time of his life.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't say a word.
Yeah, I have kicked the chair in front of me at a Marvel movie once or twice. Bang! I'm so sorry. Like,
but the thing is, like, the moment when Bruce Campbell popped up on the screen, I was sat next to him going, yeah! It's like, what are you cheering for?
Do you know it's funny? I think that on Dot Stratton, like, the spoilers, but like the very last, that stupid last line, that wonderfully stupid last line that he delivers, I think I might have been the only person in the cinema that actually laughed, but it was a real kind of like almost like a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah,
That was stupid and funny, and everyone else like, "Oh, is that it? We'll go."
See, when we were,
Like, yeah, sorry, Tom Cruise isn't in it. All right, get over it, you fucking idiot.
like Linda said to me, she said, what are the? Is there a last sequence? I was like, all right, there's always a last
You're
sequence.
like, yeah, the answer to that is always yes.
We have to stay for the very, very end one. She's like, why is that? I was like, because it's Bruce Campbell, and it's like, love your wives, always love your wives. She's like, okay. So then it was
I understand.
me, Linda, Dylan, and Lauren. Lauren's just sat there looking on the phone like, why aren't we going? Bruce Campbell's at the end. Oh, okay. We just sit there.
There's no debating.
I think Scarlet Witch was a phenomenal bad guy, like antagonist in the film as well. I thought she was she was brilliant.
So
Those
much
scenes
fun.
where she was like going through the bunker after him and stuff, I was like, shit, this is scary.
Right.
I mean, like my mate who was with me, like I think 3 times he jumped, and each time he's like, son of a bitch. Like, got me. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I was just sat there counting what I was calling the Sam Raimi-isms. The
Yeah.
camera work,
yeah,
the sound
yeah.
effects, the
for
allusions
sure. The camera
to
was
Evil
all
Dead. It was really, really good fun.
It was great. It was great. I mean, look, it wasn't without its false stuff. And like I'm a Marvel fanboy, so I'm very blind a lot of times when people are like, "Fuck no, I liked Venom 2." I keep saying,
yeah,
like,
I like Venom 2.
Sort of like,
No, I'm not saying anything.
no, but you know what I mean. But I will fully admit that
Yeah.
I'm a guy that's like, "Ooh, they're in costume." Like that's enough sometimes. But I really did enjoy it. But I did feel that sort of like I was like that was the biggest MacGuffin of any Marvel movie I've ever seen, where like it starts with like, we gotta get this good book, and like for the next 90 minutes they're chasing this book, get the book, and Scarlet Witch is like, fuck your book, sets it on fire, and the reaction is, we'll just do it another way, it's fine. And I'm like, really? Because that book seemed really important for the last like 90 minutes, but it was other than that it was really
that
enjoyable.
also seemed to me very comic bookish, which I was just like, yeah, I could see that in a comic book
For sure,
you know, them spending like 6 or 7 issues to get this thing, and then she goes, and then you're waiting for the next issue.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It's definitely
it
a
was
film I
fun.
could easily rewatch as well.
Oh,
though.
100%.
That's the thing.
You know, and all the
I
references.
did
and
also see the film in 3D as well, which I wasn't
Oh,
expecting to. But apparently Sam Raimi in an interview with Feige said, yes, I deliberately chose these cameras to capture this in 3D.
Nice.
So, but it wasn't really advertised as much as the early wave of even Doctor Strange 1, they heavily pushed the 3D with the kaleidoscope effects, but they didn't push it this time. But it was still fantastic in 3D. It didn't make the film any better, but it's one hell of an experience there.
No, I loved it. And I said it was in all the little cameos and stuff that did happen. I was kind of like, it's kind of enough for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it didn't need any more.
Just waiting for Thor
I
2
am
now.
going to spoil it. So just warning, I am about to spoil something, but kind of not because it was sort of in the trailers. But when Patrick Stewart comes out, not just as Professor X, but in the yellow floating chair.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was nice.
I was like,
that was really nice.
Nom, nom. Yeah,
with
with
the
the music.
music.
I was
With the music.
oh shit. I had a bit of a fanboy moment then.
Like,
I
I know there was loads of arguments, but seeing all of them up there, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, the Illuminati. Yeah, that's good.
I'm
And
good.
I did argue as well because a friend of mine he did say like, oh man, I really wanted to see Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark again, like in the Illuminati. And I was like, because I said no, I'm glad he didn't now. And they're like, well, that's based on the next scene. We would have had to watch him die again, and I'm not ready for that.
That would have
game.
been sick, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, the other film that I did get to see in the cinema between podcasts was The Northman.
Yes.
I have talked about it a little bit on some of the streams, but
Skarsgård?
it was Skarsgård, yeah. It's the same director that did The Witch and The Lighthouse.
Yes. So
and this one
realistic as
is
fuck,
so
but
much
magical.
grander in scale and scope. It has a very simple, straightforward vengeance narrative, but you're with him for this journey, and the sets, the actors, the music, the way that it was filmed. The fact that it was grounded but alluded to that Norse mythology at the same time. It was quite possibly, because I don't want to go into too many spoilers
So
or talk
it's
too
very
much.
stylized.
Have you seen Northman yet?
No.
You'd fucking love
But
it.
I
Watch it
honestly
with Donna,
think
because
it's
it will...
contender for film of the year. I think it's absolutely contender for film of the year.
Right, seriously.
So I highly recommend
Has
people
it
check it out. I think
done-
it's already
has
out
it
on
done
streaming
well?
now. I don't
Is it done
know.
well critically? Or
I don't know. I haven't actually looked yet.
You know, it's
But
not...
I think people should see it.
It's done well to the point that it's not fell underneath the radar and just been ignored, kind of like the last
good.
duel Ridley Scott. But obviously it came out like 2 weeks before Doctor Strange 2, so I knew it was always going to get lost. But when it hits DVD, when you're watching it at home,
I think it's already available on some streaming sites.
some streaming sites as well. Like it's
Is
2.5 hours of just Vikings beating the fuck out of each
Is it
other.
based on anything, or is it just a standalone movie? Is it like a
It's its
spin-off
own
of
story.
Vikings or
No,
something?
it's not a spin-off of
no,
Vikings.
Oh, okay. Do you know?
No,
I
I
think I
think
got confused. I thought
think
it was.
it's based off a Norse legend, but it's been...
Yeah,
No,
I did
sorry. I
know
mean,
it
like,
was
no. I mean, like a pre-existing IP, like like a film version.
No,
like when they did
no.
Serenity off of Firefly. That kind of shit.
It's
Right on. I'll give it. I'll give it.
Well,
a look then. I think that's the only thing that
did you ever
stopped me.
see Vikings, the TV series?
I haven't watched all of it. I think I watched like the first couple of seasons.
Imagine that, but like 10 times bigger, and with the wit. Have you seen?
Yeah,
the
no,
Witch?
I get the premise. I was more sort of like, do I need to watch like 6 seasons of Vikings and then this is like the film finish or something? Because they've just done a new series,
It'll
right?
help if you had some kind of knowledge of the mythology. So
That's
when you
good,
hear
I've got
names
that, yeah.
dropped,
That's
you feel like you know.
Think God of War, the movie. think Elden Ring, the movie. That's the well. I looked at Northman. I was just like, visually, this is going to be just so fucking glorious to watch. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy in it again.
Right, yes.
I can't watch that woman. Honestly, weird things happen to me when I look at that one. She was in no, seriously, fucking, because she's just visually, she's just really stunning. Or she's just, her face is kind of symmetrical to the point you're like, how did that happen? Like, no, like,
I'm so glad you're already married. I could not take you out in the pool like, girl, your face is so symmetrical.
Seriously, like, we were watching Glass.
What the fuck is he doing?
We were watching Glass, fucking M. Night Shyamalan's movie, and she's in that because she was in Spiral.
She's the warden, right?
She's in that.
Well, no, she's a woman who she's the girl who helps Kevin, help Kevin Wendell Crumb.
Oh, okay.
But the fact that she's like I said, I saw her in that, and I'm just like, visually, she's just such a stunning woman that in Northman, sticking all this kind of like, how did she look in the Northman?
Like Anna Taylor-Joy. She was, I mean, she's a very minor role. She's an important role, but a minor role in the actual running time.
Right. I think I know which role you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend it. Here's a film, though, that maybe I do recommend if you're a gorehound and you like shark movies like me. We talked about Jet Ski last podcast, which got renamed to Shark Bait.
Jet Ski.
You know I had to go and get that movie.
You had to.
I had to watch it. Mm-hmm. I wanted to watch some dipshit teenagers get eaten by a great white shark, and that is exactly what I got.
Spoilers, everyone. Spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, they are trapped on that jet ski within the first 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was just like, perfect. Like, here we go. Like, I know, the movie knows what you're here for. And for the first time in quite a lot of shitty CGI shark movies, this one had one of the most impressive shark shots in the entire film. And it was something probably borrowed from The Meg. That came out a couple years ago and is getting a sequel, where you got a bird's eye shot of them on the jet ski, and the shark is kind of on its side, just underneath the surface, swimming beside them. They're not aware of it, but you as an audience are just seeing the scale of it. And I was like, that was worth that shot just to see this film, because most shark movies don't give you anything. But then this one doubles down, triples down on the gory, gruesome shark chomping of limbs, torsos, skin, blood. I was like, I haven't seen this in quite some time. Like, I haven't seen this level. Even The Walking Dead's not giving me this level of gore. So yeah, I was very impressed on the gore, but all the acting was... the music was... but the shark effects were good.
We rewatched the Jaws movies. Donna decided she wanted to rewatch the Jaws movies and stuff. We've been trying to go through sort of like series. Yeah. And I mean, like, I just wanted to tap out after the first one, but she was like,
second one's great.
Donna loves the second one as well.
Second one's amazing.
But we watched, so we were going through like Amazon or whatever it was that we were on Netflix, and there was one just called Great White that we watched. Have you seen that one?
Is that Spanish 1970s?
No. It's fairly recent or whatever I was seeing this week. But it was just the fact that I will instantly have this visceral reaction to any evil shark attack movie where they're like, we need to fill some time, so just throw in some shots of sharks in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was just like,
stock footage.
Son of a bitch. Like, you know, I'm like, I guarantee you if I fucking Google sharks, I'll find that footage on like the first or second page. Yeah, that drives me mental. I'll give that one a look though, Shark Bait, if it, you know, if it's that gory. Like, if you're gonna do a fucking shark movie these days and you're not smart enough to write one as good as Jaws, make it fucking horrific.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
just,
yes.
You know.
And that's what I got. But that is it for the catch up. Let's roll into the news segment. Now, we do usually always start with talking about the passing away of those
dying,
that
man. People always be dying.
Like our theme. Like, if we don't do this, I worry.
Yeah.
Like, who's next?
The Grim Reaper's on vacation. It's a sad thing, but at the same time, we always like to celebrate these. And the first one that I like to celebrate is Fred Ward.
Oh, man.
He passed away at the age of 79, but he'll be forever known by cult cinema fans as Earl Bass in Tremors and Tremors 2.
Earl.
He appeared in many films and TV shows, including The Right Stuff, Cast a Deadly Spell, and one of my personal favourites, Remo Williams, The Unarmed and Dangerous, where he's like John Wick before John Wick.
Yeah, I love them in Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Oh, that's the one I was about to say. Yeah.
With fucking
Nice.
Hannah Nicole Smith.
Yeah, now Fred Ward may not have always had the starring role, but he was always just really great as the supporting role.
Yes.
That was where his strength was.
Great voice. Yeah,
Had a great
I thought he had a
voice,
great
yeah.
voice.
Yeah. Yeah, so very sad. So I think it'll be time to rewatch Tremors, I think, next week. I want to rewatch The Right
Tremors
Stuff.
2. Tremors 2. No, he's
Tremors 2, yeah,
he was the main guy in Tremors 2.
Yeah.
Tremors 2 for, like, you know, considering it started the trend of, like, we've got
The
to
Ass
we've got
Blasters,
to
the
evolve.
evolution.
Yeah, we've got to keep evolving these creatures, and it just gets more ridiculous. Like, Tremors 2 is just on the cusp of it still being good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can that's a legit sequel, man. That's
Yeah.
a good, and he is
The Right
good in the
Stuff.
starring role as well.
Yeah. Next up, I'd like to talk about Vangelis. The composer of Chariots of Fire and Blade Runner has passed away also at the age of 79. He was the Greek composer. He topped the US charts and he won the Oscar for Chariots of Fire. He was his synth-driven synth orchestra style. He was self-taught. And one of the things he said about his own work was that my music does not try to evoke emotions like joy, love or pain from the audience. It just goes with the image because I work in the moment. And so that just to give you some kind of understanding of how the man saw what he was doing compared to how the legacy of his music will live on forever.
Yeah.
When you hear the Chariots of Fire, it is iconic. It is.
I was just hearing Blade Runner in my
creates
head.
so many images of
I see those
all
fuckers running
sports.
across
You
the
know,
beach
Yeah.
and stuff.
the Olympic Games. It's the Chariots of Fire.
Man, he's
and of
a-
course, if you're a sci-fi fan, Uber fan, you know how much we treasure Blade Runner, and one of the most important parts of that film is the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And now, I would also say, if you are a big fan of Vangelis and Blade Runner, there is a Vangelis extra cut of the soundtrack.
Aren't we coming
where
up
he
to an
released
anniversary as well? Sorry,
of Blade Runner, possibly.
I think we are. Aren't we?
Yes, the 40-year anniversary.
Yeah,
Because
perfect-
it's
perfect
9/18.
time. Sorry.
Yeah. So
That just triggered me.
there was at least 2 hours of unused music for Blade Runner, which is just
nice.
so good to listen to as an accompaniment. So yeah, watch the film, listen to the music.
Oh man, you throw that on if you're playing like I think I said a little while ago. I was playing the Mass Effect trilogy when they released the Legendary Edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Play
perfect.
that, but like pop your Spotify up and get like sci-fi soundtracks and like I think after I was done with Alien, I was like, oh, Blade Runner soundtrack, bang.
Yes.
Just turn off all the fucking terrible dialogue in the first Mass Effect game. Just like play that. Just read the subtitles. It's fine.
Okay, now I was kind of a little bit. The news this last month it didn't. There wasn't that many exciting stories,
No,
so
some
a lot
months,
of them have gone into kind of quick fire news. But I wasn't even fully aware of the Dungeons and Dragons live action movie that was being put together. But they have just announced its full title, which is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Is this still
means
in the
fucking
line?
nothing.
Is this still
like
in the
literally
line of...
the most generic? Like,
Yes.
Because there were those Dungeons and Dragon movies, weren't there? With what, Marlon Wayans and
Yeah,
fucking
I mean,
the
those
guy-
are
Jeremy
not-
Irons was in
Yes,
a fucking Dungeons
yeah,
and Dragons
that's
movie,
it,
dude, which is
yeah.
horrifying.
This is ignoring any of them.
Right,
entirely.
okay.
This is going to be big budget revamp launch of a new franchise, Dungeons and Dragons. So
Why-
it's
Yep, but didn't Warcraft
it's
make
being
money?
directed by the
Yeah,
same two
yeah.
that directed Game Night. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay.
you saw that one because that was kind of fun, kind of
Yeah, that was
thriller.
alright.
Yeah,
Right, so we're going to have a comedy Dungeons and Dragons movie.
another one.
Wow.
Well, I mean the other ones weren't they?
So it's a parody. Well, yeah, but like all I'm thinking is Your Highness now, but with Dungeons and Dragons on the title.
I
can
like
tell
your
you-
Highness. I like that.
would.
I like that movie.
The Dungeons and Dragons movie is starring Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez.
Chris.
So I'm like, man,
I
Chris
get
Pine's pretty
confused.
good,
Chris
but
Pine's
Michelle
Captain
Rodriguez
Kirk, not Chris
was
Pratt.
in like In the Name of the King.
Do you know, I had the same
and
thing.
all the
sorry.
other Uwe Boll fantasy movies.
Wait, who else did you say? It's
Michelle Rodriguez, Chris Pine.
Oh my god, it is going to be
In
a
the Name
comedy.
of the King, a Uwe Boll
fucking-
comedy, bizarro,
Yeah.
weirdness. I don't know if they'll get
She's
it.
going to be some Amazonian kind of bow staff welding fucking thief, and he's going to be a kind of
Barbarian, I don't know.
no, he'll be a
wizard.
bard
A
pretending to be a knight who is really a bard, and he'll help her get her strength, and they'll defeat the evil wizard. Who's going to be the evil wizard?
I don't know, but apparently there's going to be
Sam
a
Neill.
female barbarian who reunites with a no-talent wizard and a druid, in an effort to rob the cheating con man who stole their loot from the heist that landed them behind bars.
I was only joking! Did you hear what you just said?
And there's going to be a Lord of Neverwinter is going to be the big bad.
Sweet.
Only the traitor is allied with a powerful red wizard who has something far more sinister in store.
Sounds like such bullshit. I'm not watching that.
It's going to be fun.
It's
going to be fun.
Netflix.
I was going to say, I'm assuming that the thieves will all get together and defeat him, though, because of the tagline.
Yeah, honor among thieves.
Yeah.
Is there still a barbarian? If you're a female barbarian, isn't there like a...
What barbarian-esque?
Yeah, like...
Valkyrie, I guess, or something. Amazonian. Depends on what...
Female barbarian.
Well, it depends on which sort of, like, mythology you're just pouring into this shit.
Wait,
because D&D, like, we'll have a bit of Norse, some Greek over it. Doesn't matter.
How can you be a no-talent wizard? Then you would just be nothing.
You'd be Richmond.
If you're... Yes, no, hear me out. How can you be a wizard with no power? You're just...
You'd be Rincewind.
I'm a wizard. Dude, I've got no power, so am I a wizard?
You could be Rincewind.
Next!
Kevin Feige has announced that he's been working with the creative Marvel team to plan now the next 10 years of the Marvel cinematic and streaming Disney Plus service.
I love it when people are like, man, I'm getting sick of these fucking Marvel shows. I'm like, strap in, bitches.
10 more years.
Going away.
10 more years.
Don't have to watch it. You go and go watch it.
I always say, don't fucking watch them.
They're loving the Marvel stuff. You can be excited for Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Blade and Fantastic Four in production still. Eternals has also been tipped to be getting a sequel along with Deadpool 3 and an Agatha Harkness series.
Wait, Deadpool 3 is Disney now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fox.
Okay, so let's be honest. Based on Ragnarok alone and the trailer for Love and Thunder, it looks like that's going to be great fun.
Yeah,
I'll go out on a limb and say that's probably going to be up
Summer
there.
blockbuster.
Yeah, up there is one of my favourite ones probably because he knows what he's doing. Black Panther, I honestly can't wait to see what they are going to do with it for stupid reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
Blade, guy whose name I can't pronounce, who's playing him, is fucking not quite is an Oscar-winning phenomenal actor, and I can't wait to see
Denzel
what he
Washington.
does with it. Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Fuck me. Could you imagine though if they were like Denzel Washington is playing like an older Blade? I'd be like,
and Morgan Freeman's the older Blade from the future.
yeah, and he just narrates it. And then obviously Fantastic Four, we got a glimpse of that. Eternals, don't care. Deadpool 3, based on the second one, is probably going to be great. Agatha Harkness, I love her. I love that actress. She's fucking awesome. If you ever watch Bad Moms, I'm like, I could marry that
She
woman.
was good in Bad Moms, but Step Brothers, when she just starts licking his face, she's
I
like,
could marry her in that as well, to be honest.
I will be thinking about you later when I pleasure myself.
Okay, so CinemaCon was just a few days ago, and Lionsgate showcased and announced some details about John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh, yeah.
And Sylvester Stallone about the Expend 4 Blels.
Do you know, I was about to ask you, is that a typo?
No,
but that's
the
how
title.
Okay.
Expend full bells.
There was a trailer for John Wick in which we can expect more of the same. While Expendables is promising the return of Jason Statham and Stallone and returning 80s and 90s action stars, including some ones that have not been in the series so far. And Eli Roth also showcased a trailer for his Borderlands, the video game adaptation, which is going to be starring Cate Blanchett.
Okay, that's weird.
You're always like, oh, that could be interesting, and then you remember it's Eli Roth, and you're like, or not.
Did you...
I liked his documentary he did about shark hunting, but I still don't like his films.
Did you happen to... Sorry to mess up the list if you haven't already put it down, but did you happen to see anything on the new George Miller trailer film that he's
with
released?
Idris Elba and
Tilda Swinton.
yeah, I've not seen the trailer, but yeah, I can't. Do you know what's funny is I saw a poster,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, Idris Elba, yeah, and then I saw it's George Miller, and I was like, oh, okay.
3,000 Years of Longing.
Yeah, I kind
Okay.
of saw the trailer and was like, I'm not going to watch that because I'm probably going to go see that movie. So
Hell yeah.
I haven't seen the
missed that.
trailer
based
yet.
on Mad Max alone.
Exactly, yeah.
As soon as they put George Miller's name to it, I was like, oh,
Going to see
interesting.
that because he knows how to make an action
Well, I'm not
film.
going to see it in the cinema because people.
Yeah.
I'm going to wiki
I'm
it.
going to wait until I know you're going to cinema, wear a wig, come in and sit there
No,
talking.
no.
There are key times to go in, but unfortunately with the Robocop screening, you had like one screening at one on time.
Right. So
I'm gonna give you a really quick tip, and this is honest. No. This is a serious thing, and this will save your life when you go. Because this is what I always do.
Yeah.
Me and you guys know Sandbags. Me and my mate, when we go to watch all the Marvel movies, we always do the same thing. Okay, he's really busy with what he does. He travels all over the place working. So I'll normally buy the tickets and basically phone and be like, "Tell your kids you won't see them tonight. We're going to watch Doctor Strange." So what I do, I always just pay for the tickets. Okay, because I've paid for the tickets, I always buy like the aisle seat.
Sure.
And the one on the inside.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, you're fucking sitting on the inside. Because then I know I'm sitting next to just him and air.
And the aisle. Yes, yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You need to always just, even if you're not taking anyone, buy the other seat.
That was my other plan. I said that to Linda today. Actually,
Fuck
I
it,
was
just
like,
buy the
next
other
time I'm
seat.
going, I'm just going to buy
two
seats.
And
Around
just be like, yeah, literally, if someone's sitting there, yeah, my popcorn
that's
is.
it, yeah.
And he's got a ticket. Move
right
on.
there. Go over there. That's it. That's the only time.
Take advantage of the cheap tickets.
Next up in the news, or non-news, or rumor mill news, because this doesn't seem to want to die, but Silent Hill is all over the internet, all over again. It's popping up everywhere with leaked images of work that's going on with the games. There's still the ongoing discussion of whether Konami and Bloober are working together.
It's very foggy news.
Yes, very.
It's very vague.
Took me a second then. Well done.
But from the looks of things, everybody should just go whatever at this point. Like, how much more bait can we be given about remake Silent Hill?
Yeah, Silent Hill now for years has been, I mean, ever since like PT has just been this, like, yeah. It's just like a huge fan base holding their hand out with money in the other, going like,
yeah, we will buy
Konami, if you could just stop fucking making those pachinko machines and arguing with fucking Kojima for like 9 minutes and get off your own asses.
But they can't, because then that would be...
Because pachinko machines make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, it's a fuck ton of money. But, like, what storyline can Silent Hill do anymore that we aren't...
well, based on
the
most
character
trends,
and
the first one.
Yeah, the characters
just be a remake.
and the stories have to be so well done that you forget everything that's coming and you just say, hey, this Silent Hill game is absolutely amazing. But the chances of them actually applying that to their game after all the shit that they've done through Downpour and Origins,
they do make more money than the game, you're right.
Yeah, pachinko machines
like,
make a lot of money.
Like, in fairness, I'd be happy for a remake of Silent Hill 4,
Well, I mean, like, we've got Dead Space coming, haven't we?
We do,
which I'm sort of like, great. Which also they announced like a Gears trilogy remake as well, I think, over the weekend. Which was really funny, because I had that stupid reaction where I went, oh, for God's sake, how many times are they going to make me pay for those original 3 games? And then I was like, well, at least once more.
Yes, at least once more.
Because I'm not strong enough to not buy them.
No.
Mind you, now I've got a 4K TV and an Xbox Series X, so now I can...
one system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though they're in my library.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I know.
We're idiots.
They got my money already.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were going to do a Gears relaunch. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's Christmas done.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Alrighty, let's launch into the quickfire news. Sony Pictures announced that Venom and Ghostbusters sequels are now being made.
Yes, bitches!
Tom Hardy will be back for the third Venom movie, but little else is known, including the direction or what have you, of the next Ghostbusters as to what cast it's going to be.
I hope that the next Venom plot is just Eddie's got a job as an Uber driver and it's just him and Venom picking up random people.
Yes.
And they film it like a reality TV show.
And
it never leaves the cab.
Yes.
It's just Venom asking questions like an annoying,
whether
toddler.
We can eat them or not.
I think I need to watch fucking Let There Be Carnage just to talk about it for the next podcast. Rip at an asshole.
Do what you want. I'll still watch it again.
So Justin Lin has quit Fast X.
Okay.
Just days into production.
Why isn't it called Fast 10 Your Seatbelts? It writes itself.
Maybe that's the tagline, but that is awesome. I don't know why
It's right there. It's right there. Fucking asshole.
So Louis Leterrier has stepped in now to direct. He was the guy who did Transporter and Now You See Me. But the Justin Lin walking off the set came as a bit of a surprise because he's been with them for quite some time. He also co-wrote the new script.
Right.
But creative differences was the reason
He's
given.
finally had enough.
But speculation continues with the apparent unprofessionalism of Vin Diesel on set.
Ooh,
So,
really? What rumours is that?
Well, there
dude,
was a
that's- I was
video
gonna
that
say.
released a couple days ago where Vin Diesel was just kind of, I don't know, no, it was more that Justin Lin just seemed off in the background while Vin Diesel was talking to the camera, talking to Twitter. And you could just read his aura was just like, I mean, that was just a day before he walked off set and went, I'm not coming back.
Oh, shit.
So, but
I
yeah.
mean, it's been around in that franchise for years, where it's like there was a lot of rumors. It was really confirmed by the other cast, where they talked about how when they brought Dwayne Johnson in, Vin Diesel clearly was very threatened by him and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he's bigger. Shit, by a mile, mate. You know, and also
And Vin-
a much
and
better
the
actor.
Paul Walker
and the Rock said
situation.
he's never coming back.
Exactly, yeah. So there was a lot of there was a lot of
The Paul
opposing
Walker
forces,
situation
so.
didn't make it any better either.
I've no doubt. I mean, that must be hard on all of them, but also it's. I mean, let's be honest. Vin Diesel's not exactly,
Well,
great.
not being a sequel, that's the kind of a bit extreme.
Have they been to space yet? I mean, this is the 10th one. Have they done
Do you know? I
space
think
yet?
they did. No. I think they did go to
Okay.
space.
I was going to say, they must have done some.
I have, and I say that as someone who's not
Underwater
seen any of
driving?
them. I haven't seen any of them. But I think watching a YouTube list, I kind of
No.
laughed when I listened
You're-
about it,
you're
and they
just
said they
thinking-
did go into space.
Yeah, I
You're just
stopped
thinking
at
Vin
6.
Diesel
I
in
stopped at
Guardians.
6.
Yeah, he's been in space.
Next piece of film news is that Adam Wingard's The Guest
Okay.
might get a sequel.
Is
It's
that-
been 8 years since Dan Stevens infiltrated that family.
Yeah,
But
that
on
was,
April
it was
Fool's
fucking
Day
good.
just passed,
It was good.
Wingard released a sequel soundtrack, despite the film obviously not existing. However, in its creation, Adam and co-writer Simon Barrett got into thinking and planning a sequel, and Dan Stevens apparently said he would love to do it. So the idea is now floating around whether a movie or a limited series could be something that they could sink their teeth
Yeah,
into.
it's fun. It's
So,
fun.
yeah.
I feel like a
it's-
bit of a fallback that it's sort of like, we've got an idea for a sequel. Yeah, we don't really want to do for a sequel for that movie. Oh, we say sequel, we meant limited series.
Yes, you're right.
'Cause it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it makes sense though that it's there, isn't it, as an option now? I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've set the character up, and then if they want to explore it in a longer format, I think it could work.
Hey, and look, I was going to say, and then we're about to talk about it for a bit, in the second part about how that can work, and we've seen it with like even stupid things like Cobra Kai, where it's got no business, but you start fleshing these characters out, all of a sudden you've
and
got
it's
like.
so much. It's
I
fascinating.
mean,
yeah.
you've not seen it, but have you ever seen Jack Reacher, Gary?
I've seen Jack Reacher.
No, but you've never seen The Guest.
Oh no, not the
No, I
Ghost,
haven't
sorry.
watched it. No.
You haven't seen Jack. Oh, it's a
I
shame.
saw. I
all
saw the
I'm thinking-
trailers.
all I'm thinking now is Jack Reacher versus the guy from The Guest, and who would win in that?
The guy from The Guest, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. It'd be pretty.
Dude, that new
See
Jack
Jack-
Reacher?
Yeah.
I wouldn't fight him with a gun.
I don't know. The guy from The Guest is a
At
bit of a
range.
badass.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
Yeah.
if I had 20 good feet between us, I'd be like, oh, he looks fast.
We got some Scream news.
Oh, fucking hell.
Hayden Panettiere, Kirby, will be returning to the
Kirby?
Scream franchise. That's her character name.
Oh, what, the little fat...
Yeah, I was
No,
thinking, like...
Right, okay.
Hayden Panettiere, her name was Kirby. She was in not the most recent Scream film, which was in the one before it.
Right.
And so when, most characters that survive a Scream movie end up in the next one.
Right.
And are
She-
usually
she
the
wasn't-
killer.
And
Yeah.
you're usually the killer, but she wasn't there.
Sorry,
So
that's
she's
Saw. Sorry, my bad. That's Saw.
So spoilers for the new Scream movie that's coming out
Yeah.
next October. It's going to be Kirby the Killer. But yeah, they haven't announced if other survivors from the previous movie are coming back yet. But you know the namesakes are going to be there.
Yeah.
But an interesting bit of casting news.
I saw
Christopher
this, yeah.
Walken is going to be playing Emperor Shaddam IV in Dune Part 2.
Sand everywhere. Sand.
Gotta get the
Gotta get the
spice.
spice, man.
I think he's. I think it's a perfect bit of casting. I really
No,
enjoyed Dune Part 1. I really just want.
You're
I want
desperately
all of
trying to
it.
knock out a Walken
I'm like a
impression, aren't you?
Walken, I'm thinking
Can't
of
do
like-
it, just can't
Yeah,
nail
just
it.
can't think of a good one.
I'll be honest, because I'm not the biggest Doom fan or anything like that, so I don't know the character at all. However, I'm on board. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, I ain't gonna see it until they're all out.
Oh, sure,
I'm
sure.
just gonna watch them all in a one.
I was going to do that, but
Yeah.
I caved. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen reboot is now in the works.
Really?
Disney now own the rights after they
shit.
bought it from 20th Century Fox, and now they're looking to make a new adaptation because they think enough time has passed since Sean Connery bowed out of
No,
acting.
because I watched it 2 days ago on Film 4, and
You
it's
watched
still
it not
really
too long
good.
ago.
Man, I know a few people like it, but I
Oh,
didn't.
no, I mean, it's a heinous piece of shit, but
It
I didn't
is.
say I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
Man, it's not Eddie-
didn't
it's not as
even
bad as
enjoy
Eddie.
it. But unfortunately, it tanked, it bombed
What did I tell you
critically,
about comparing?
commercially.
Well,
It
Production
did,
careers.
yeah.
Like-
It did, yeah, you're right.
But what we know is it suffered loads of production problems. It is nowhere as close to the comic book, and if you like,
There's
the
some great characters in that
Dude,
story.
that
so I'm
comic-
excited
that comic
to see
is-
it.
the
It's
moment
good.
you
That is a good
said
comic.
it's owned by Disney, I'm like, well, they can do whatever the fuck they want with it, and they will probably do something good with it.
Yeah,
because the
I
worst they
imagine
can do
so.
with it is
yeah,
put Sean
all the
Connery in it.
characters in there are great, so I'm excited to see that.
Dude, that's fun. That was 90 minutes of, like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
terrible
talked about
CGI.
Dead Space remake coming out. They've announced January 27th, 2023. It's going to be on PS5, Xbox, and PC. So, the original released in 2008.
Oh, really?
And now next January, we'll have the remake.
I watched the...
I'd love it for the Switch.
I watched the... dude, it couldn't run it. I watched the tech demo of it. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I'll get it for the Steam Deck.
For your Steam Deck, what?
Steam Deck.
Oh, okay.
The Supernatural, the 15-season long-running show, which ended a little while back, the prequel series has been ordered into a full season based on the strength of the pilot episode.
Nice.
Jensen Ackles will be returning in voiceover form, narrating the backstory of how his parents met and began hunting demons. So I don't know how long the story can really go for.
You won't be watching it, will you?
I'm going to give it a
I
go.
haven't even watched Supernatural.
Oh
so-
man, you should.
I mean, I
It's
enjoyed
fucking-
Supernatural a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I really... I don't think this story needs to be told, but I think... is it the CW, or the channel that's running it,
Yeah.
just wants to keep that momentum
yeah,
of
they've
Supernatural
got
going because it was so strong after 15
Yeah,
years.
It's a huge following.
It
though.
could have kept going, you know,
I
but
don't-
they're
yeah.
the ones that, like, we need to stop now after 15
I was
years.
just always amazed with Supernatural. I remember watching the very first episode and thinking, this isn't going to last. And then you kept hearing, 3 or 4 times that they were going to cancel it, and they just kept renewing it for the next season and next season and next season.
Yeah, but
and
a
then
lot of series do that. Like,
Not
Brooklyn
mate,
Nine-Nine had it.
Yeah, but 15 seasons.
Supernatural
Oh,
had-
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
it's been
no
amazing.
outlasted
Yeah, yeah,
Game
yeah.
of Thrones.
of cancellation.
It outlasted Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And even their final season made sense. They
Yeah.
outlasted Dexter.
It had a super
You
sweet
know?
ending as well, so...
Fucking, yeah.
Most shows don't get to do that, which is...
I think it's definitely one that I would, if I had time, I would definitely go back and just binge watch. You know what? Might get that for Linda for Christmas.
Box set.
Spoilers, yeah.
Nice.
Like, here.
Very nice.
Oh, will I watch this? I'm like 2 men driving
Dude,
a
she
car.
knows now.
Yeah, no, that's right. She'll have to tell me no, won't she?
Well, here's another show coming back after a 3-year break. Black Mirror will be coming back with a new season on Netflix. They've said that it won't be as long as earlier seasons in episode count again, but each episode is being treated like a mini film in terms of its scale and its production.
Nice.
But the reason why there hadn't been that many Black Mirror episodes was because of copyright or rights issues with the title, with the original parent company, which was, I think, Channel 4.
They say that.
Charlie
So-
Brooker wrote it, right?
Charlie Brooker, yeah.
Did he?
yeah.
Did he do all of them?
He
or-
did, yeah.
All right. So this
Yeah.
is him coming back
Well,
to do
the
it.
thing is, he also said, like, Charlie Brooker said he doesn't really feel like writing Black Mirror right now because the state of the world is so the way
Yeah, I
it
was
is. He was
about
just
to
like,
say
do I
that.
really want to make more of this
Yes.
right now?
He
So
should.
He said he was
because he's
happy
the one
doing,
best person to do it.
happy doing other projects right now.
But it must be so psychologically torturing because he's basically writing stories based on what he's seeing and making a mockery and a joke of it and then putting it out and everyone goes, oh, yeah, that's really funny because it's kind of
Laugh at our
satire
own
to
sorrows.
what's the real world's like. Oh, turn TV off. And you're looking at the
Yeah.
Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Squid Game, so successful that a season 2 might drop
Did you watch it?
sometime
Squid
in
Game.
2023
Yeah, it's fucking meh.
I didn't
or
watch
even
it.
2024.
I've seen Battle Royale.
It was all right.
But the sequel season is now very much happening. They quoted, "Humanity is going to be put to a test through those games once again." Huang told Vanity Fair, "I want to ask the question: is true solidarity between humans possible?"
No.
So
Yeah.
more
Answer it
humans
for you,
being
mate.
dicks to each other
Yeah.
until they're not. Until most of them are dead.
Yeah.
Squid Games 2.
It's
Expect more of the same, but upped again.
As I will honestly say that I think Squid Game was one of the most overrated shows in the last like 5 years.
Well,
and I'm not saying that I didn't necessarily enjoy all of it. It's just I was very much like.
I'll
right.
partially
It's
agree
okay.
with you with that because it came out at such the right time that the world watched it. But for me, I never watched it, and it was just like, why didn't you watch it? And I'm like, well, because I've seen Takeshi's Castle and Battle Royale. I don't need to watch a fucking Netflix series about
Spoilers.
it.
At the end, they do ride around in a little castle shooting.
But you didn't know about the story, Ian. Oh wait, let me guess. The guy in the trailer that the camera kept focusing on is looking for some way to actually save the day so he can pay the money to save his friends or families. And they're going to go for a season 2. But to me, it's like a film. Squid Games would have been a film that you would just go rid of half of the backstory.
The last, I gotta admit, the last few episodes, I was just fucking end it. Just kill him. Just kill him or don't.
The first episode and the last episode were the two weakest episodes for me.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
yeah.
I think that was a lot of the problem I had with it. Is that ending was such a fucking damp squib that I was like.
But that's it. It came out at such a right time because it's on Netflix. Young teens are watching it, so it gets a massive popularity boost, especially if you're watching it all over the world. And like I said, those people were like, "Oh, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "No, but watch Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is based on."
Yeah.
I'm hoping people did that.
At the same time, when Squid Games released, we were in a lockdown.
Yeah,
so we were starved for new entertainment, and so when it dropped, like everyone was like, "Well, I've seen everything else. I might as well watch this now."
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? We're sat there going, "Oh my god, look at all those people locked in that room.
That must suck.
That must suck." Oh wait.
Right.
No, I wasn't.
Well, that's it for the film news, but we do have a couple of trailers to talk about today. And this is one that's been popped up a couple of times the last couple of weeks, and that is the new Resident Evil.
Raise your hand if you think this is going to be bullshit.
Sometimes when you watch something that's established and you go, "Oh, okay, so they're taking it in another direction. That could be interesting." That it's like that, except you cut off the fucking "this could be interesting" bit. I think it's just like, where the fuck are they going with this?
So 2 children go into a town, and there appears to be an evacuation because there's a viral outbreak. But the 2 children, I'm really hoping it's not Claire and Chris. But I don't believe it is. I think Albert Wesker's their dad.
Yes.
And obviously they've decided to change Albert Wesker from a blonde guy to a African American guy.
It's Netflix, so he's probably transgender.
He works for Umbrella.
I honestly, mate, I just
It's
Is this to reboot, revamp, or just to hold on to the license?
it's just to keep poking this dead corpse.
Right. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I look at it. I'm like, what continuity, if any, does this fit into?
Isn't it weird as well that we're in a time as well where the games have kind of hit their stride again?
Mm-hmm.
In that wonderful way of like, if you think about the Resident Evil games, because I'm a huge fan of it. I know I was ragging on the movies, but in my defense, it's only because they're fucking terrible. You've got like those first 3 that are like a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got 4, 5, and 6 is like
trilogy.
another trilogy,
Yeah.
way worse. And now they've come back with this much better trilogy that we're 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah.
We're in this golden age of like Resident Evil storytelling in the games.
Yes.
It's like Capcom says
They
to them,
They can't get.
do you want to make a Resident Evil project? Yes, okay, but you cannot use this, or this. You can only put Capcom and Resident Evil on your project.
It does feel like it's being made by people that are being so. There was this game, right? And it came. People were in a house and there were zombies. One of them was called Chris. Anyway, write me a series.
Right, make it a movie.
No, make it a series.
Man.
Oh, the bad corporation called Umbrella. All right, cheers, Steve.
It's the same thing that's happened right now to fans of Halo, the Halo TV series.
I was so ready to watch that, and the reviews coming out the gate, I was like, "Ooh, I might move this down the priority list a little bit."
It took 9 episodes, right, for nothing to happen.
Did he take his helmet off as well?
He took it. He takes his.
Question.
He takes his helmet off,
Do you know
and
what?
then it's off the rest of the season.
Oh, no.
Question though, Gary.
He totally Judge Dredd's that shit.
No.
The Stallone version.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
Yes,
Dredd got it right,
yes.
A question though. What's worse, Halo the series or Picard?
Picard.
So you'd watch Halo. You'd watch Halo series over Picard.
Wasn't the answer I thought we were
I
going
knew
to
it
get.
was going to be.
It was tough. It was like, you know, they're both burning dumpsters. You know, there was great things in Picard. There were some great things in Halo. I enjoyed watching both of them, even though I had, you know, Picard started so high, dropped so low, but ended okay.
You're right.
Halo had one action scene in the first episode, and then a kind of an action scene like episode 7, and part of an action scene in the last episode.
Wow, that's
my
bad.
God.
The rest of it was just
How
dialogue.
can you not have... When you
It's-
finally got Master Chief looking like Master Chief on the screen as well, because
Yeah.
he does. You watch that trailer and it's like, that is a live action Master Chief. That's
Yeah.
perfect. It should just been that trailer every episode.
Yeah, right.
Most of the
So
dialogue should be
it's-
can't talk, fighting, douche, 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 douche. You know,
I'd love that.
so many
fucking watch that.
characters.
shut the fuck up. You
So
know,
many characters in this Halo show that don't exist in either the books or the games.
I'd love that. The
See,
Halo
like,
series
do
is
we-
terrible. Why? You can't hear the dialogue. Why? Because there's so much gunfire.
I mean,
It's just
do you wonder
fucking
if that's the
dying.
problem as well? Because isn't that everything we say all the time? It seems to be. It's like, right, we're gonna take this IP and we're gonna make a movie out of it. Okay, great, but I want to take half the characters that you know and love and just bin them off to replace them with other characters
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
As in the same way that it's like, you know, Jokovic in Resident Evil. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, is that Jill Valentine? No, that's Alice. Who? Just wait. Yeah, but what you've got?
It's the same thing.
You've
they
got
did-
all the. They're all
Yeah.
there. You don't need to. I think that's a lot of the problem. Maybe
It's the
is
same
that
thing
they
they did with Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Move on.
Okay.
Move on. I'm not even going to ignore.
Next trailer was the trailer for Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic Daniel Radcliffe film.
Yes.
And apparently the film will showcase Yankovic's rise to fame, his early parody tunes, and all of the depraved love affairs of his life. Daniel Radcliffe has played some bizarre roles. You know, he went and
He's
made
a
a bunch of
wizard.
independent films after Harry Potter.
That farting dead body one was good.
Yeah. The Guns Akimbo,
Guns Akimbo.
great fun.
Did he have sex with
this
a
one? He
horse?
looks like he's got this.
In Equus, the stage show. I
Supposedly.
don't know that he fucked a horse, but he was naked.
He was naked with a horse.
So, sorry, we were just
yeah.
comparing Daniel Radcliffe's work.
Trailer looks good.
Yeah. We did say it's like watching it was funny in it where it's like it's done that Hollywood thing where it's like Weird Al Yankovic great, but then you see Daniel Radcliffe as him and here looks great, and then he's on stage with his shirt off. Daniel Radcliffe's pretty well put together, and you're like, Weird Al never had abs. Give me a fucking break. Like,
Maybe it's his very early years before he just.
well, when he was still deadlifting. Yeah.
I want to talk about Avatar:
Yes, let's talk about
The
Avatar.
Way of the Water.
This is the sequel, so there's going to be 2 more movies after this.
Back to Pandora. This is the beginning of a trilogy now.
Sam Worthington comes
Sam
back.
Worthington is back now. I have to say, obviously, I saw the trailer for Avatar 2 in the cinema in 3D because it came on before Doctor Strange, and I had no idea I was going to get an Avatar trailer in 3D. And it wasn't an action-packed trailer. There was no guns being fired or dinosaurs, but I know they're in there. And it would just beautifully reminded you of Pandora, that world, the music, the cinematography, the lighting, the immersion in 3D. I was just like, you know, that the Pandora Avatar 2 trailer in 3D was so much more impressive than anything that appeared in Doctor Strange. Like, I'm have
There's
to
a bit
see
of a
Avatar 2
stretch,
in 3D. No, the
maybe.
3D was amazing.
Yeah, you're just talking about the application of the actual effect.
Yes, of
right?
the actual effect.
right,
In
right.
comparison to Doctor Strange, I was like,
Right.
Sam, you may have shot it in 3D, but I don't think
No,
you're not.
You didn't Cameron it.
You are not James Cameron.
You're not James Cameron.
Unfortunately, and the skill level difference in the technology is so apparent in that trailer. I was flabbergasted. Now, say what you will about Avatar 1 and its lazy storytelling.
Oh,
it's
good, 'cause I was about to.
recycling all of those stories we already know. But still, that world building was so
Sorry,
impressive.
I will probably end up having to fucking watch Avatar in the cinema because Donna was a huge fan of the 3D effect in the first one.
it was so
So
good.
she kind of meant, I was like, oh, I kind of want to see it just for the 3D effect, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to this fucking movie right now. 'Cause, like, I'll be honest, like I'm kind of like,
Prediction: Will Avatar 2 overtake Avengers again?
I won't have to
As the highest.
because he's re-releasing Avatar again, isn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's putting that one back in.
And,
Well, there we go then.
And,
So
and then you'll watch all 4 of them, so it'll just be, yeah.
okay, next trailer. final trailer, Prey. This is
Pray it's a good film.
the fifth standalone Predator movie, not including Aliens.
Man, it's being released on Hulu.
But that doesn't matter.
Does that even make it a movie, or is that even
No, but
just...
dude,
it's like
everything
3 tiers.
releases on streaming services now, so it doesn't matter where it's being released. Okay, honestly, if you were making a Predator movie and you were like, I'd be like, don't put it in cinemas. No one's going to see a Predator movie in the fucking
you
cinemas.
need to put it in cinemas if
you
it's going to
don't.
be that good. It's not.
It's not going to be that
It's not
good.
going to be that good.
But dude, no, if you think about it, it is not a franchise that has the box office draw. It just isn't.
No.
Disney have the franchise, yeah.
Yes.
And if they're going, and this,
I don't know what they've got because the last one isn't on Disney Plus.
No,
Is it just the Predator?
no, they've got
They
Predator.
should be.
on
No,
there.
it
They still own
Well,
it.
they've got Predator 1 and 2 and Predators.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The latest one isn't on there.
Right, so they're getting
The
ready
Predator.
to they're getting ready to drop that because they have all 3 of them, and at some point they're going to have all of them. This doesn't even feel like it's got their production backing.
Well, I mean, give
From
it a
the
break because
15
it's a 2-second.
Yeah,
promo,
from the
isn't it?
15
it is, yeah.
from the second trailer. I know I'm already picking at it, but I don't care because I'm a Predator fan. I'll be honest. After seeing the trailer, I looked online to see if the Dark Horse comics were available, the ones that were released in the 90s. Marvel were releasing a new stand-up omnibus.
Nice.
Yeah.
£99 in September.
That's cool.
I pre-ordered it
Nice.
because I'm like I have to own them. But
Well-
that's how much of a fan I am. From the trailer, I didn't understand why a Predator would use its plasma caster against a bow and arrow.
Because he was holding it.
Because it's still a weapon that could kill the Predator.
No, a bow and arrow should know a bullet's bound.
It
Do
depends.
you
Is
remember
the
at the end
Predator
when he
wearing
was fighting Arnie? You know, and he was just there with his fucking lit.
With a grenade
No,
on
he
the
wasn't.
end of the arrow. This
but
guy's
it's
got a
not the
fucking
point.
flint head because they're supposed to
Also,
be what?
listen, you got to remember, it's a teaser trailer. But
Yeah.
what did those 3 dots instantly do? Oh, it's a Predator movie.
yeah.
Because it's not called, for one,
And then-
it's not called Predator. It's called Prey.
And then in the actual Prey, those dots will not be in it, just like in Predators when you saw the dots, they'll just take things.
Probably.
Yeah, right, whatever.
The only thing that has me excited for Prey is the director that's attached to it, and it's Dan Trachtenberg, and he directed 10 Cloverfield Lane and some of The Boys, the TV series on Amazon. He directed some of those
Yeah,
episodes.
I like 10
Now,
Cloverfield
10
Lane.
Cloverfield Lane is a tight, claustrophobic thriller. The psychological warfare between the two. John Goodman, one of my favourite roles of his in 10 Cloverfield
And
Lane.
I do wonder if 10. I always wonder is 10 Cloverfield Lane more like because of what a director is, or is it more just does it all hinge on John Goodman's
performance? Yeah. So interesting to see now whether this director, out of the studio of The Boys and out of 10 Cloverfield Lane, what he can do with the Predator. I've heard the rumours that this is going to be a PG movie, and that is the thing that upsets me. Is because when I see a Predator movie, I want to see somebody get blown to pieces by a plasma cannon.
I want to see a bunch of skin
I want to
fuckers
see a bunch of people get skinned. I want to see the Predator taking
cleaning
trophies.
a skull, fucking pull
Right,
a spine
but
out,
I
wipe his ass
reckon-
with it.
I reckon
want to see all the Mortal Kombat fatalities.
If you're
Yes,
right, if you're
exactly.
right though, if it's a PG, did you say it's a series though?
No, movie.
Oh, so it's a movie. You said it's a PG though. Lore-wise, if they go real deep with the lore, and it works, we'll be calling its praises. So that means no plasma casters. That means only spears and claw-like weaponry. And if he spends,
But it's the thing about an alien that kills people. It's got to be
hold
gory.
on, yeah, but
It's got to be gory. I'm sorry.
No,
It's PG, it's fucked.
not if.
Yes.
Not if he takes out a few people and then chases the main character throughout the rest of the movie, and then she takes him out.
Are you seriously telling me that in a Predator movie you'd be happy if the Predator killed 2 people and then ran after someone for the rest of the 90 minutes, who then kills him?
If the atmosphere, cinematography, and lore work and keep me engaged and
Nope.
keep me engaged on the story, yes,
No.
yeah.
Body count.
Mate, no.
Body count.
No. And I'll give you an example. The Predator had a body count, and I'm never going back.
Well, I haven't seen that one, to be fair.
Well, fuck you!
Why?
Because go watch The Predator and then come back to me and be like, no, don't have a body count.
Well, yeah, but I don't think the fact
Go
that it
watch
has
Predator.
a body count is
Go
going to be
watch the-
just the
go
problem,
watch
is
The
it?
Predator.
Is it maybe going to be all the
Actually-
Predator hybrids
actually,
that they make might be a little bit more of an issue?
In fairness, you liked Venom too, so you probably like that. You'll probably like The Predator. It's got fucking Thomas Jane in it, and he's got what's it? He's got what's they called it? Where he-
Tourette's.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, you should watch it. Next.
Prey, coming August.
Maybe.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the first part of the podcast.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to discuss Hannibal, the Cannibal.
Hannibal. Fist bumps!
Alrighty, that is a stopping of the recording. I'm just going to save this before we take the break.
Yes.
Podcast 45.
Ah, nice. Fist bumps to everybody. If you've already come in and we didn't see you during the chat, I think I saw the lady there. What up, G Electric? What up, Mongo? What up, Lone Dragon? Another one from Nella, just because obviously Nella's always there. Ghost Pirate,
We're going to hit 50 podcasts this year.
We are
Yes,
indeed.
As long as you know, knock the drinking on the head and you can do another 5.
I don't know.
5 more, yeah. That'd be what? What are we on? May,
Well, it'd be
June,
October.
July, August, October. So Halloween. Halloween will be our 50th.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Podcast die tonight. That's what it's
Right.
Okay.
Let's chase this old man around the fucking hospital and then he commits suicide.
I think there was a couple
What up,
of
Goki?
subs during the first part as well. I'm just going to turn the alerts back on again. They might come through now. Yeah, we do. We got one!
Nice.
Goki, about 12 months. Oh, you made it early. Thank you so much
What
for
up,
the
Chuckster?
year-long sub, Goki. Much appreciated.
Do you want to see in like Halloween 3? Is it starts with, you know how like everyone was gathered around and beating the fuck out of him at the end of like Halloween Kills. It's just retcon slightly back to that scene, and Michael Myers just like picks up one of the guns and like fucking shoots someone, and then he learns to use guns, and now it's like Halloween 3 is just Michael Myers and an AK-47.
Yeah,
And he's like, body count, motherfuckers.
Man, when I was watching...
Because at this point, who cares?
When I was watching Robocop last night and you see fucking the old man at the table, all I wanted to watch was Halloween 3.
Yeah.
With the fucking shamrock masks. It's just evil. Dick, I'm very disappointed. You call this a glitch?
Oh, did I just miss another sub come in? That
Good
was
son,
Toadfish.
what's your name?
Toadfish.
Murphy.
Thank you so much,
Murphy.
Toadfish, for the 15 months and now on a 12-month streak. That's awesome. Thank you
Nice.
so much, Toadfish.
Right. Poison and pee breaks.
Yep, so we're going to take a very quick break. I need to go and get myself some water.
We're going to hose him down in the garden.
Yeah.
Sort this fucking
We'll go
shit
with the
out.
flow, Nella. Go with the flow.
Go with
I
the
might
flow.
need to pass out. Alrighty, I'll...
Yeah.
Do like, you know, it's like South Park when it was the fucking the lockdown episodes where Cartman's like homeschooling and he does the glitch.
It's just the
Just do
picture.
that in the next section. Just make a like picture of you like,
Yeah,
oh sorry
it's
guys,
the
Gary's camera's glitched out, and you can be like,
Or
passed out.
draws on his eyelids. Looks like
Yeah.
he's
Open eyes, yeah. We'll be back shortly, guys. I will play some music as well. And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where we are going to be discussing Hannibal, that ran from 2013 to 2015 with 39 episodes, 13 episodes per season, and it was created by Brian Fuller, who's now working on Star Trek, or worked on Star Trek Voyager, and now working on Discovery. He worked on Heroes and Pushing Daisies, American Gods, and one of my favourites, Dead Like Me.
nice.
And Hannibal was... It came and went in 3 short seasons, cancelled before its time because of rights issues, but something that has grown and is still growing quite a cult following. It was shocking and impressive the time it was on network television.
yeah, absolutely. It's well, I think it's going to stand out as sort of like one of those how did they get away with it shows. I think it's the best way to do it. So
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm gonna kind of go through the overview of it, and then we're going to sort of discuss like it season by season. So we'll put the spoiler warning out now, even though, as we mentioned, like, you know, we're going back to like 2013 here, but
Yeah.
spoilers, we're going to spoil the shit out of it, but we're not going to go into every single little gritty detail of it. So obviously, as we've mentioned, it's a series set in the world of Thomas Harris, who obviously wrote Hannibal, Rising, Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, and Hannibal. Stars Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal, Hugh Dancy as Will Graham, and Lawrence Fishburne as Jack Crawford. As Gary said, the season first premiered in April 2013 after an order of 13 episodes and ran for 3 seasons until August 2015. It was originally planned in as 7 seasons.
Yes.
But unfortunately, due to, low viewership and rights issues, like I said, it was unfortunately cancelled. So the series received some critical acclaim, with the performances of the lead actors and the visual style of the show being singled out for praise. The first 2 seasons each won the Saturn Award for Best Network Television Series, while both Mickelson and Dancy won Best Actor, with Lawrence Fishburne winning Best Supporting Actor for Season 2. The third and final season won the inaugural Best Action Thriller Television Series, while guest star Richard Armitage, who you'll probably remember from The Hobbit, with Thorin Oakenshield, won Best Supporting Actor, like the best looking dwarf in the world, won Best Supporting Actor. The show garnered a cult following, considered by critics and audiences as one of the best series of the horror genre and one of the greatest TV series of all time. For me personally, this is a show that I watch all 3 seasons at least once a year. And it's normally around this time, because I always go on holiday. Like, I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks, and I always seem to watch it just before I go on holiday for some reason.
Fair enough.
It's a food thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
So the series, it focuses on FBI profile Will Graham, who is recruited by Jack Crawford, the head of the behavioural sciences of the FBI, to help investigate a serial killer in Minnesota. So with the investigation weighing heavily on Graham, Crawford decides to have him supervised by forensic psychiatrist Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Initially, Lecter, who, spoilers, is a secret cannibalistic serial killer. All right, just in case, not to bury the lead.
Exactly. I mean, the role is already made famous in Silence of the Lambs.
Of course it is. An Academy Award-winning role as well.
Exactly. So anybody stepping into that role was going to have to
he
make
had
it their
some shoes
own,
to fill,
because there was no way you could wear those same shoes and get away with it.
Absolutely. And in this, like, Hannibal, he does work to sort of manipulate the FBI from within. But the bonds he builds with Graham begin to threaten his longevity, and Lecter is fascinated by Graham's ability to emphasise with psychopathic murderers and try and sort of push the boundaries of his fragile sanity in order to eventually attempt to turn him into a killer himself. Now, the series has got this kind of like hyper-realism to it, with all the murder scenes being these like incredible, like, tableaus, these canvases
like
of devastation.
Pieces,
absolutely.
They absolutely are, and they are grotesque.
They are. There is a lot of how are you getting away with this moments. I'll be honest. You have to suspend your belief a fair amount when it comes to these, because I'm pretty sure there's a few of the scenes that would have required Hannibal to operate a bulldozer in order to achieve it.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I don't know if at any point when they're investigating some of them where someone's like, he's working alone, and you're like, fucking how?
He did that overnight.
There's 19 bodies here. But anyway, again, like we're saying, it's something that you have to, sort of suspend your belief for.
You really have to, because
and it's worth it.
I got frustrated at first with it, because I was like, I'm trying to believe this is real. You just have to get past it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's the same with the dialogue. Everyone talks in these
really
wonderful,
really
flowery, but you kind of, again, you can forgive it because you're like, well, they're all very educated, sort of like top of their field.
I heard someone say that it's almost like ASMR.
Right.
It's that kind, because they all speak in almost like a monotone, but they literally are regurgitating a thesaurus.
You would honestly,
an entire dictionary of big words.
Yeah, if you were a fly on the wall, you'd be stood in the room going, "I'm the dumbest person in this room."
Yes, it does give that impression.
Like, as much as I understood everything they said, when they turn to me and go, "What do you think?" I'm going to be like, "Yeah,
what you said."
And Hannibal's looking at you like,
good.
"I'm going to eat you."
I don't think he would.
The thing is that what's interesting is all of the micro expressions of the actors in those scenes, because even though all the dialogue is back and forth, and there is almost like a cat and mouse game between these therapy sessions, because the Will Graham character, he puts himself in the mindset of these killers, but his mental state is degrading the more he puts himself in there to help the FBI. And that's the reason why he's been partnered with Hannibal, is that he is trying to help Will, supposedly.
Yeah, Hannibal's there to basically
overcome.
keep an eye on him for Jack, because Jack is aware that he's putting Will into these bad circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll run through the main characters of the series before we go into the actual series.
Yeah, please.
And again, if you've seen if you've read the books, if you've seen the other movies, then you'll know most of these. There's a few gender swaps, but they work, as well, and they're not egregious or anything. I mean, again, I'll say I've read all the books. I've recently re-listened to them on Audible as well. So for me, I'm a huge Thomas Harris fanboy in the way that, like, if you walk into my house, when you walk into the first room you walk into is actually the dining room, and there's a reason that I've got like a cobalt blue wall, and on that wall is a really nice replication of the red dragon and the woman clothed in sun with like a skull and anyway, it's like, that was my one. Like, Donna was kind of like, "You're not seriously going to do that, are you?" And I was already hanging the pitch like, "Huh?"
It sounds like me with Vigo.
yeah, exactly. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, that's
I was going there.
That's going over us while we're eating. So we've got Hugh Dancy playing Will Graham. Now, he's a gifted criminal profiler and hunter of serial killers. Will visualizes himself committing the murders he investigates to understand the killer's behaviors throughout the series, and it's one of the mechanics that they use in most episodes, especially within that first season.
Yeah.
Graham's involvement in the investigation takes a huge toll on his psyche, and the emotional relationship between Graham and Lecter forms the foundation of the series. Hannibal, played by Mads Mikkelsen, his performance, not surprisingly, is absolutely my favourite part of the show.
Yeah.
He manages to portray this monster as, this debonair, educated socialite who's just, what's honestly weird is how likable he is.
Yeah.
Suave, sophisticated, charming.
So charming.
Yeah.
He's a great looking guy, but he really epitomizes that person suit that is Hannibal Lecter. When he turns in any episode when he is about to do something frantic, and there's some episodes later in the sort of series, like, where he gets fully unleashed.
Yeah.
And you're like, he knows how to fight. He's a combat specialist. Everything about him. So and it's believable.
It's a nice gradual reveal of who Lecter is, because almost anybody
you
watching Hannibal,
you don't see him for like the first 2/3 of that pilot episode.
That's true. Yeah, they I mean, it's the same as Silence of the Lambs. You don't immediately start with Hannibal. You build to it. You build it up.
Yeah.
And I think that goes in part with audiences maybe watching it for the first time, let alone reruns. Is you when you go in to watch Hannibal, almost everyone already knows who he is. He's one of the iconic horror villain characters.
Yeah.
So you already know. So all the kind of pretense that we're watching with this show, we already know he eats people.
Yeah.
We already know that he gets caught. But I would also imagine if maybe somebody by chance didn't know, that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad, that you didn't know that Hannibal was a cannibal.
If you
watching this show,
that,
I think he gives such a performance that you can get an inclination that he is manipulating people, that he is pulling the strings from behind the scenes in a very manipulative and crafty way, and that comes across in his performance. So even if you're aware of him or not aware of him, you get a sense that he's doing something that he probably shouldn't be.
I'm actually really jealous of anyone that watched this show not knowing what Hannibal was, because
to have that shock reveal.
It takes, if you're watching and the reason he's so personable because you're watching every single episode. He's having people at his house for dinner.
Yeah.
He's putting on these elaborate dinners for them. And look, it's explained as well, because again, it's a lot of people are like, it's such a pretentious show. It's like, he very early, I think he's Jack Crawford, he says, like, about the way he presents food, and he says, I was a surgeon, someone died, I decided I was going to turn my sort of like gift for anatomy into the culinary arts, and so everything he presents is a show.
Yeah.
And then it's only like, there's one scene about halfway through when some of the pathologists are sort of like dissecting the bodies, going, this one's missing a spleen, this one's missing a liver, and it's Will that, when he says about the serial killer who's known as the Chesapeake Ripper, who is Hannibal, which they don't know at this point, spoilers, he kind of says about, like, who takes a spleen out of a guy and who does this, because they're thinking about black market organ sales, and I think it's Will that says something like, maybe the Ripper's making sausage, and it's interspersed by this montage of Hannibal making food, making sausage, making all these things. So if you don't know, when you hit that point, you're like, oh my God, this guy's a cannibal. And then you have that realization that every scene I've watched of him serving someone food, they've been cannibalized.
Yes. Yeah.
So so in a way, anyone walking into the into it blind, actually very envious of them. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's funny because quickly, sorry. In Hannibal, the sequel movie with Anthony Hopkins, that he had that dinner sequence.
Yeah, you do finally see it. Yeah,
which obviously was pre the movie. So while I've been watching the sequences, obviously playing while we've been talking, having all those guests around
makes you hungry, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's,
even though you know what it is.
like, is it like an ego? It's a crazy ego thing with the character of Hannibal, that he is so smart that he knows he's smarter than everybody else, and he is smarter than everybody else.
Well, you see that a lot in it. A lot of that is his performance and his facial thing. There is a scene where he throws a dinner party and he does make a joke to say nothing on this table is vegetarian, and everyone's tucking in, and you just see his face enjoying it. Yeah. Just looking at him,
like somebody's died.
Like, I'm feeding you someone right now.
It's it's a ritual for Hannibal.
Yeah,
it's absolutely his mantra.
It is. So again, just continuing with the cast, we've got Lawrence Fishburne playing Jack Crawford. Personally, what I think, in the same way that I would say that Mads Mikkelsen is my Hannibal. I don't mind saying that. To me, Mads is my Hannibal. Jack Crawford, portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne, I think it's Lawrence Fishburne's best performance that I've personally seen him in. Now, and before that, I would go back to sort of like Boys in the Hood. I really enjoy him and stuff like that. But I honestly, over these 3 seasons, it's phenomenal.
He was good as Perry White.
It's the drama. You feel like he cares as an employer for his agents, but it's also his marriage and his ailing wife, which is a pivotal part of the story.
It is,
and his range is really, really good. Yeah,
I think because obviously, he's Jack Crawford is the agent in charge of the behavioral science unit of the FBI in Quantico, Virginia, and he's portrayed as deliberately sort of pushing the limits of Graham's sanity in order to fully exploit his gift.
Right.
But again, it's all about him. It's all about, sort of like the toll that it also takes on him. No, it's basically you knowing, like, I'm sending someone that I like off, and I know what this is going to do to him. Yes. But at the end of the day, I've got to stop these murders. I've got to catch this person. I've got to do whatever it is I need to do. So he's a tool. Yeah. I'm using him as a tool to get the job done. But I also know that tool is going to be broken after. So he's ex-army. He's a fucking badass. We'll get there, but yeah, it's a great performance. We've got Alana Bloom, who's Carol Danvers, who's that's a gender swap role. Alan Bloom was actually a doctor in the original novels. I don't know that he's been portrayed in the films. It wasn't necessarily a big part.
Yeah.
But she's a professor of psychology and consultant profile for the FBI who's got professional relationships with both Graham and Lecter. Another gender swap character is Freddie Lowndes, who Philip Seymour Hoffman played him in Red Dragon, I believe. Basically same character though, who investigates, into the Chesapeake Ripper, is very manipulative, forms sort of like worms their way into it by making a bond with a particular
victim. By female now, is it?
Yeah. So I haven't got a name written down.
It was a man in Manhunter as well. Obviously,
it was.
To the,
yeah.
Does she get the wheelchair treatment? Does she?
Kind of. Kind of yes, kind of not. There's basically, we're going to go through the whole thing anyway.
I don't know if we did say, but we will be spoiling the whole out of all 3 seasons of the show.
There is a point where it's faked that happens to her,
right?
But then that same kind of thing is then there's a lot of things like you get in many adaptations where they go, this thing that happened to that character, let's move that over and we'll give that to this character, so it kind of happens somewhere else along the line. And in fact, coming to that, I'm gonna touch on Rao Esparza, who plays Frederick Chilton, who's the administrator of the Baltimore State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, who we again recognise from Silence of the Lambs. He's the old friend that Hannibal's going to have for dinner.
He was in the series.
Exactly.
He's a great actor.
And he's fleshed out. It sounds really funny. A really funny comparison. He's Johnny from Cobra Kai.
An asshole. Yeah. He is. You just hate him immediately.
He's so 3-dimensional, though, isn't he?
Yes, they really worked that character. I was so surprised.
I always liked him.
But oh my god, does he get the fucking short end in every series?
Yes, he does.
He's nobody likes him.
Well, he's basically.
But you feel so sorry.
You do feel bad for him because he's obviously, he's in this very elite field, but he's certainly by his peers considered to be low on the totem pole, and it eats at him. So he's constantly trying. So another character in it who's played by Eddie Izzard.
Yes,
Abel Gideon,
was such a great piece of casting.
An amazing piece of casting, and also an amazing performance because he plays Abel Gideon, who's like a former transplant surgeon who's institutionalized for killing his family. And Dr. Chilton has kind of led him to believe that he is the Chesapeake Ripper. So
Really?
he's assuming responsibility for Hannibal's crimes because Dr. Chilton's kind of conditioned him to do so. But the performance, oh my God, he's like riffing on Hopkins.
Yes.
He's in the jumpsuit. He's got the same posture. He has that same cadence with his voice, the look down the lens. He's one of the most frightening characters in the whole thing.
Eddie Izzard was always good.
It's another one where you almost forget how good an actor Eddie Izzard is.
Mate, Mystery Men. Disco is life.
Not dead. If he'd have pulled that out, I wouldn't have even been mad. And then just the last one to mention is Gillian Anderson playing Bedelia DeMauer, who is Lecter's
Why did you have
therapist.
to say that name?
I know. The first season, it's quite a mysterious relationship, and in a way, I didn't think that they were going to carry her character through as much as they did, because really her scenes where it's her and Hannibal in therapy sessions were more really for you to get to see a little bit more of Hannibal's opinion that he can't give in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of an idea. Again, there's a lot of stuff that's just subtly hinted in that first season where it's kind of like he's saved her from a patient in the past, but you don't get any details of that. And you kind of get the idea of like, does she know what he is? But it's never truly
it's alluded
revealed.
to. It's a mystery that goes over all 3 seasons.
Is he manipulating? Why would
Hannibal
need a...
there is
a psychiatrist because of the things he's dealt with.
Well, at the end of the day,
manipulating
well, no,
her?
I mean, like he says it's most psychiatrists have psychiatrists.
Right, yeah, but I'm saying through 3 seasons, he never really manipulates her.
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, my God, yeah, he does.
But that's what I'm saying. Does he have these meetings with her? Same as the dinners,
like as if that's the start of
like
it.
that.
Maybe.
Well, that's his game. That's where he gets entertainment.
But I don't think they even maybe they knew that, maybe they didn't. But in the first season, it's definitely not. I don't think you really get an idea of like, oh, she's going to be here through the whole thing and be really important. It just really feels like, in a good way, it feels like this is a chance for us to almost like hear Hannibal's monologue, without him having to deliver a monologue, which would have been probably bad.
I'm sorry to sound crass or anything.
She's fit still.
Might be a bit. Yeah, does she wear glasses? Like in any of the episodes?
No, sorry, dude. There is a scene where he's washing her hair and she's in the tub, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
Because that girl gorgeous. I don't care how old she is. So those are the majority of the returning characters throughout the seasons, obviously, and we've got others being added in because these 3 seasons do jump around.
I found
most of
the first season for me was the most formulaic. And it was a couple of times I decided to stop watching Hannibal during the first season because I was so tired of the repetition of Monster of the Week. I was like, how many prolific serial killers are out there?
Don't live in the Baltimore area.
Exactly. I was like, in one area. I was like, all of these serial killers in all these grotesque displays. I was like, for real? That was another hurdle for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, I'll come to that because I've written a sort of point about that, but I agree. It's absolutely, there's no getting around it, is that it does become Monster of the Week.
I mean, my question as well would be also, how is it not like Dexter?
No, it's like Dexter, but it's,
there is a point of it being a little bit like Dexter. Well, I'll come to it because there is like, excuse me, as much as there's Monster of the Week, basically the short answer is, each one allows a character to come to a revelation. That is the best way to put it. But the way the season opens is we basically start on this horrific crime scene. You know, there's tape on the door, there's coppers outside, and there's dead bodies and blood everywhere inside the house. And then that's where we're kind of introduced to the mechanic that is used so much through the first season, is this metronome that then just starts wiping the slate clean. Time moves backwards. We lose the bodies, we lose the blood, we pan outside, the police are gone, the tape gone, and we're just left with a man stood there who we now come to discover is Will Graham. And then Will proceeds to commit the crime. So we see him boot the door, he shoots the guy on the stairs, he puts one in the leg of the wife, but he's narrating what he's doing all the way through. Now, what this actually is, we come to realise, is like that's Will's gift. Is that he's able to literally put himself in the shoes of the killer, as he calls it, to find, this is my design.
Exactly. It's the big thing that I like, that differentiated it from... Because I like criminal psychology, but I don't like CSI shows. But what this one did...
Well, it's all in past tense, isn't it?
Yes,
in a way, but it's normally a dude stood over a dead dude on a gurney telling you how it happened. This is like, I'm going to show you how it happened.
So stylistically, very, very impressive, but again, repetitive. They did it in so many episodes. But of course, it was to show the degradation of Will being thrown through.
It's kind of, I think, because in a way, and the way I always explained it to people is that because if you imagine about the whole worry through all that first season is, oh my God, Will seeing these horrific crimes, but so's everyone else, right? So's Jack Corbin, but he's living it. He's putting himself.
It's because he's living it.
He's blurring those lines between to a point where he does start thinking like, did I kill this person?
Yeah, it's the fact that he gets to the root of it. Like he wants to know the why they do it. Whereas most of it, normally it would be, we're seeing the crime scene, murder, weapon, motive, but he really gets to want to know the psychology of these killers, which is what's doing this, this damage to him.
Possibly separate it from the Dexter image is to take it from
Will
the police
Graham,
officer's point of perspective.
Will Graham is
to then
also
bring Hannibal in.
Being manipulated by Lecter.
Yes.
Now, Lecter doesn't seem to have much motive in the first season for what he's doing. We don't really know what he's doing. We don't know whether he's actually helping Will.
A lot of it is kind of, I wanted to see what would happen.
Yes,
exactly. It's true. Which I think he even says
experimenting with him, which is fascinating. And of course, because I had stopped watching, it was Jess, my housemate, was just like, "Are we watching Hannibal this week?" And I was like, "Nah." And he's like, "I'll go on."
Twist my arm.
All right then. And so I'm glad I was pushed into to keep going with it because season 2 breaks the mold when we get to it, and season 3 breaks the mold again. So it's interesting having that routine of the first few episodes.
Yeah, it is rare for a show to actually kind of have the balls to do that as well.
Yeah, they do change the lore or from the source material a fair amount in terms of the story, but that's because of the rights issues.
Sort of. I mean, it's kind of all there, but they kind of change it just enough that you're getting the same thing, or they might just be like, again, okay, we're not going to have this guy do it, we're going to pick this up and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to kind of say it a different way, but you're basically going to do this exact same thing.
Yeah.
But the first season, the main crux of it for Will and what starts off is hunting a killer called the Minnesota Shrike, who he finds along with Hannibal. Hannibal actually warns him that he's coming as well. It's a guy called Garrett Jacob Hobbs. They track him to his house, and because he's been warned, he kills his own wife and nearly murders his young teen daughter.
Yes.
And Will then ends up actually killing Hobbs dead. So there becomes this surrogate relationship with Hannibal and Will looking after Abigail, who it turns out is not even just an accessory to her father's crimes, but is the bait.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that Hobbs actually wanted to kill his daughter, and to satiate that urge, he was getting her to pick up girls that looked like her so that he could kill, chop up, cannibalize.
See, now
Baltimore's a fucked up place.
Now, this is the thing. I never watched the series, but then again, I figured while we were going to be discussing this, I should look some of this stuff up. And when I was looking up this guy and reading about this whole story, I was like, nope, this is why I don't go. This is why I don't Will Graham this shit, okay? I don't, when I watched Manhunter for the first time, I'm like, that's why I never became a serial killer fucking pathologist, because you are living in the mind of the serial killer. You either become Will Graham or Hannibal Lecter. You either almost fucking die or you eat people. And then you're watching the series.
That's like the original cut of Dark Knight that you didn't use.
But it's like people like, did you watch Hannibal last night? No, I don't want to watch a guy who really, really wants to murder his own daughter, but instead decides to murder other girls around her and use her as bait.
Well, dude, none of this is good. If you know what I mean, it's all it's all horrific, but it's there again to set up this surrogate relationship, and again, Abigail's a character that has a lot of like beats across the series, because the whole reason that it goes into Hobbs is because as the Minnesota Shrike, then Hannibal kind of uses it as a way to mask his own crimes. River, they think it's a copycat.
Yes.
No one knows who's killing who, basically. Because again, it's got a great slow burn where we don't even confirm his cannibalism until like 2/3 of the way through that bloody season. And again, but going back to like what we did say about the villain of the week, it does to me like every episode does kind of tie into a main thread of the story. Jack thinks his wife is having an affair at one point, but then when they're tracking down this terminally ill serial killer, it leads him to the conclusion that she's actually ill herself. She's got lung cancer, and it's sort of about revelation like that.
Yeah.
We have Will sees like his own kind of mental turmoil in a killer that believes she's dead and can't see faces. So I think it's a really good way to sort of like pull back a little bit. Whilst also, at the end of the day, it's kind of an excuse for them to present these horrific crimes, and they do span. I mean, there's some really interesting kind of motives for the kills. Some are just literally. There's one where it's like, she fucking cheated on me. I killed 19 people. It's like, all right, mate.
One of the most...
Lance Hendrickson.
I was going to say, Lance Hendrickson, right? He creates a monument, a totem pole of human bodies. And again, I'm just like...
And he's an old dude as well.
What, Millennium fucking
Oh, you can just see him just sort of like...
yeah, it's like there's no way he did that on his own.
It's so it's again, you got to suspend your belief, but in a way I think it's easy to do because you're so captivated by what you're seeing.
I just want to bring up, there's another grotesque kill scene as well that there was. I mean, Day of the Dead, gore, people eating each other. I've seen this stuff before.
Yeah,
Hannibal the show, honestly, like no other TV show or horror movie has made my stomach churn at the horrific, grotesque displays of barbarism that I've ever seen in a show ever. And one of the ones that really, really made my stomach churn is when they find this guy. I think he's in a church or an altar or on a stage, and they've had a musical instrument wedged down his mouth through his throat.
He is the cellist.
His vocal cords have been removed, and the strings are there. And Will Graham, because he has these over stylized things, starts with a bow playing this cello, and he was like, that he wanted to play him or be played by him, and it's just the imagery is grotesque.
It's
the mushroom
it's never
farm.
ending. I was just about to call out the
farm.
human, but basically someone. There's someone who buries people so that they can grow mushrooms on them and stuff. There's one who use it to cultivate beehives. There's some crazy bitch who's like just lobotomizing dudes to get rid of pain and knocking out their eyes. But
he buries people up to their neck, maybe.
No, like just their hand is sort of holding.
So kind of like the horror movie where they were burying with the smoking the meat.
Motel Hell.
Motel Hell. Yeah.
We have what was it? Abel kind of does a bit of an Anthony Hopkins, and Gideon escapes custody.
That's right,
and ends up performing unnecessary surgery on Chilton.
Yes.
Which again is literally the first shit thing that happens to Frederick Chilton. Is like every season something really bad's going to happen to him. Will manages to sort of capture him, but he's struggling not to believe that he's still chasing the strike. He sees Hobbs in his face. At this point, Will is having seizures and losing time as well. So by the time we get to the end of the first series, Abigail actually returns, and we can see that Hannibal is kind of taken over again like a surrogate father and is curious as to how far he can push her. And Will's kind of still dealing with the fact that he's basically made her an orphan. So in the finale of the first season, Hannibal ends up killing Abigail and framing Will for the murder.
Yes.
Basically. So he force feeds Will one of her ears while he's unconscious, so Will vomits up one of her ears.
And he also thinks himself that he is guilty.
He doesn't remember it or anything because he's been losing time. Obviously, Jack, he thinks, I've pushed this man too far, and he's become what he's been chasing. There's some incredibly stunning scenes where at the end Will and Hannibal are in his office talking, and as they're going over each case, these statues of the murder scenes are appearing like a greatest hits,
Nice.
It's
visually
amazing.
stunning work.
So basically the first season ends with Will being committed to the Baltimore State Penitentiary, but he also makes it clear that he knows that Hannibal has done it, and there's this wonderful shared smile between
each other,
because again a lot of it is, it's almost Hannibal giving it the game on, so that's how we end season 1.
It was a great cliffhanger as well, because you know that at the end of the story the positions will be reversed, but the how it gets there is what's interesting, and season 2 opens doing the reverse of season 1, where Hannibal is now doing the Will
he
Graham
becomes
role.
Will. He takes Will's job, doesn't he? Yeah. I've got them all on Blu-ray, and I remember when the artwork came out for the second season, it's Will's face, and he's got a clear version of Hannibal's mask on.
That's right, yeah,
which is great, obviously, because he starts in it. So exactly as you said. Well, actually, what actually starts off the way season 2 opens is Hannibal in his kitchen being confronted by Jack. There's no dialogue.
Yes, you're right.
Jack walks in.
It's a flash forward,
and they start fighting, and it's this horrifically brutal fight. And again, you've got Jack, who's the ex-military, brick house, against Hannibal's sort of like, lies.
Morpheus.
Oh my god, it's such
Morpheus.
a fight. It's such a brutal fight, and we end up with Jack sort of like stabbed and hiding in the pantry while Lecter throws himself. And it's a real like, it's kind of like Vader at the end of the tunnel in Rogue One, where it's kind of like, oh, if you wanted to know if this guy's a fucking badass, the scene of Hannibal wearing a shirt with his sleeves rolled up, blood down him, holding a knife in each hand, throwing his whole body weight at a door while Jack is desperately trying to like stop himself from bleeding out and holding it. You're like, oh, this guy's intense. A fucking badass.
Yes.
It's that moment where they really let him, where it's kind of like, you should be scared of this man.
And now we've got 13 episodes to get to that point.
And yeah, it skips back 12 weeks, basically to the cast dealing with all the accusations against Will, but physically and emotionally, you know, they're trying to obviously deal with the fact that their colleague has apparently done this. And there's no more villain of the week now. In fact, it's now the adventures of Hannibal the Profiler.
Yes.
But it's kind of great, because he takes. That's the whole point. Is he's learning what it is to be Will. There's actually like almost like a comical episode where he's kind of like trying to like be friends with everyone he's working with in that way of like hitting them up like, hey, what's going on? And they're a bit like, nothing. We're colleagues, not friends. And but he doesn't understand, But it's kind of great in that way. Will actually ends up stealing a lot of Hannibal's lines from the books and the films while he's incarcerated as well.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He's seconds away from just saying quid pro quo to.
Yeah, he even says lines from Silence of the Lambs as well.
At some point, he does absolutely. So Jack is being basically what he's then doing is Beverly Katz, one of the other investigators, who's struggling to like deal with all these murders that are going on because the fucking killings in Baltimore do not end.
No.
Obviously, and it's all in that area, but it's very close to each other. She's using Will's insight by bringing him case files, and in return, quid pro quo, he's getting her to investigate Hannibal for him from the inside.
There's lots of secret messages and codes.
There's a lot. She's eventually found out, and Jack loses his shit because I think she basically manages to make a leap on a case. And Hannibal clocks her as well in that way that he does, where he's kind of like, oh, it's almost as if Will Graham was in the room. And Jack's like, oh, you've been fucking talking to him, haven't you? But a lot more elegant than that.
Yeah, and, of course,
So, at this point as well, Jack's a little bit shortchanged in that second series, I feel, but there's just not enough hours to fill, because now that we've separated Will and Hannibal...
Yeah.
We were telling their stories together, now we got to tell them apart.
Yeah.
You've only got so many hours in the day. But he's still very prominently featured because he's being investigated for Will's actions, so his head's on the chopping block as well. We get this really long, these fast-paced episodes then in the middle of Series 2. Series 2 is my favourite of all of them.
Mine too. Yeah.
Because at one point they just throw so much at you over a course of like 3-4 episodes. It's just relentless. Jack's wife Phyllis dies. There's this incredible scene where she comes to Hannibal's office because they're friends, and basically tells him, well, took all my meds today, I've had enough of this, and is basically going to check out and passes out. Hannibal ends up flipping a coin to see if he's actually going to save her or not, and does end up saving her, which she's very angry about, which is quite funny.
Again, it's like Hannibal just being curious to see what would happen.
It absolutely is.
It does,
and he's so casual about it when he do. He's just watching her die, and then is just like, sees a coin.
Now, I will say that there is one thing that does get a little bit convoluted in the second season, and that is Will and Lecter both manipulating other serial killers
amazing,
to go and kill the other. So Lecter manipulates a serial killer to kill Will, and Will hires another serial killer to go and kill Lecter, and it's a bit like, who's killing who?
Dude, it's not even that it's not even that Lecter sets a serial killer on Will.
Yeah.
And at this point, Will has been released. I'll tell you what, I'll get there.
Yeah,
You're right, but I'll get there because that is one of the most... Like when we say about suspending belief, it's like, what is this serial killer doing? And even in a series like Hannibal, where you've been desensitized to all what's going on, when you see this episode, you are like, the fuck, mate.
Yes.
So we've got Hannibal, Beverly discovers the truth about Hannibal and is killed by Hannibal.
That's gruesome. That was amazing as well.
He bisects her, doesn't
yes,
he? And leaves her in glass
kind
thing.
of display.
He captures and eats Abel Gideon, not before feeding him to himself.
Yes.
At one point, making him eat his own leg in this, again, just this...
Oh, I'm cringing because
it's so
horrible.
casual, though, the way he's like, it's dead to you, just fucking eat it, basically, you know? So, yeah, basically Hannibal orchestrates Jack to find a woman called Miriam Lass, who's an agent that we see in the first series. So it's a good... You do kind of go like, oh, shit, I remember her.
She's like the protege.
He sent after the Ripper. A little bit of a Starling vibe to her, I guess. He sends her to try and find the Chesapeake Ripper, and basically she finds the Chesapeake Ripper, and she's never heard of again. But... Hannibal taunts Jack with her in the first season, like plays recordings over the phone to him and stuff. So he's like, she could be alive. Turns out she is. He manages to lead Hannibal to find her. She's in like a bit of an oubliette, very Silence of the Lambs style. She's had an arm amputated, and they bring her in. But what he's actually done is he's, through hypnotherapy, he's managed to convince her that Chilton was her captive.
Yes, so that's because she couldn't see Lecter's face.
Yeah,
or I don't know whether it was a condition she had or one.
No, he uses just hypnosis.
He hypnosis so that she couldn't remember who he was. And so Chilton gets the blame,
and he gets a bullet to the face.
Yes,
because she recognises his voice, and he's in a room talking when they're sort of questioning him, and because also, the reason he's brought in is because Hannibal places the body of Chilton in places the body of Abel Gideon in Frederick Chilton's house.
Yeah.
Also horrifically murders 2 FBI agents that just come to the door and leaves him there in a pool of blood to be found. So, he's brought in, and Miriam identifies him as the Chesapeake Ripper that kidnaps her, and in a fit of rage pulls Jack's gun, shoots him through the two-way glass, and the bullet goes literally through his mouth and out the other side.
So he lives.
He lives, but he's got to wear like a prosthetic.
Tortured in season 1, shot in
the face.
Unnecessary surgery in season 1. Season 2, he gets shot in the face and framed for those murders as well. So that obviously leads to Will being released. And we then have a bit of a back and forth. Just before his release, Will sets a psycho orderly to kill Hannibal. Jack actually manages to save him in a really tense scene where you actually for a minute think he's gonna fucking kill him. But then Hannibal decides to send a man out to do a little goodwill hunting. Thank you. And so there's a character. He was a former patient of Lecter's, actually, I believe.
That's right.
Discovered he's this young guy, and he does. He works for a museum, and he does like saber-toothed tiger skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's basically fashioned himself a saber-toothed man suit that he then goes out and attacks people in.
Yeah.
So he comes through Will's window. So Will manages to kill him, but what he actually does is he doesn't just kill him in self-defense. He then butchers the man and sets him up in this sort of like as a display in the museum. Like it's a bit like fucking Matey from Tusk, the Kevin Smith movie. You know, it's like half his face,
his legs cut off, but they're at the skeleton of this thing.
Yeah, it's put off like, oh, so the Ripper did this, and Will and Hannibal are looking at him like, yeah, the Ripper did this. So then you have this, again, you have this kind of knowledge between the two. It's like, well, you sent one after me, I sent one after you, we're square now. But it's all part of Will's plan to kind of, if he thinks I'm the same as him, maybe we can sort of stop him. So it's at this point in season 2 as well where we introduce who will become one of the best characters. And
Mason Verger.
Mason Verger.
Yes, he's so good.
Played by Michael Pitt. Who,
well, there's no 2 actors that played him.
There was, and I've forgotten the name of the second one, but it's Michael Pitt in season 2, and then he's recast in season 3. But because, I mean, if you've seen the film, if you've seen Hannibal, it's Gary Oldman's character.
Oh, right. Oh,
so at this point, he's not all fucked up and paralyzed. We're introduced to Mason Verger, and he's.
I've read his background. Jesus Christ.
This is. I mean, again, if you read the books, it goes. I mean, there were points where it goes a little bit too in depth. I think on what he's done, but. It's one of my favourite sort of villainous performances of all time.
Yes, he's so good.
He's a trust fund billionaire. Basically, his father owned a huge meat packing dynasty. He's a sociopathic paedophile who delights in torturing his sister Margot, who's played by, I always say this, the chick from Ginger Snaps, the hot one.
That narrows it down.
And gets he kind of gets off drinking martinis made with children's tears, and I'm not exaggerating that. So we have Will kind of ends up in a relationship with Margot, who is desperate to become pregnant to get a male heir, because if Mason dies, she won't get anything.
Yeah,
basically, she loses all the money. So he ends up in a relationship. She ends up pregnant. To give you an idea of what Mason's like, he then sort of like finds out and arranges for an impromptu hysterectomy against her will.
Yeah.
So there's some run-ins then with Hannibal and Will with Mason. After this, if you've seen the movie, you kind of know the story where Hannibal drugs
LSD.
Sort of. Well, he drugs him, and I got to admit, watching this scene, I was like, I know I've said it, I can't believe they got away with this, but I can't fucking believe they got away with this.
And you see it getting there. It
takes a piece of glass and decides to rearrange his face.
That was the original. He drugs him, he's in Will's house.
Him to cut his own face off.
And feed it to Will's dogs.
Feed it to the dogs.
There's a point where Michael Pitt says, like, I'm hungry, and he just goes, eat your nose! And he fucking does.
He does,
and he manages to deliver one of the funniest lines ever, where he's like, I'm full of myself. But do you know what? If you watch it, it's a wonderfully lit shot. So what you kind of see, like, just the wet, dark blood around his face with all the sinew.
No redness.
And
just
honestly, though, if you watch this, don't tell me he couldn't have been a great Joker.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought.
Because
it was like,
the laugh, the manic, just horrific scene that it is. It is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes. In the entire season, and it's just horrifying. So you have Hannibal and Will's relationship continues to sort of like evolve from there.
Well, I was going to say, would this be a good point to talk about the relationship between Will and Lecter that has been simmering since their first introduction?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, like there's subtle clues. But the body language is there, the way they communicate to each other, the way Will is with Lecter, which is different to when he's with his wife and kid or other colleagues. There is it's difficult to say romance, but it's like the attraction that they both have for each other remains professional, but it's almost like there's a barrier that's just preventing them, and that is because of the mind games that they are playing and the condition that they're working in.
And you can see even like the care that Will has for him, because of the fact that at this point in the season as well, where the plan is Will's working with Jack to try and capture Hannibal, but then again at one point he even kind of warns him about it. And so you're like, does he want to capture him? Does he not?
He's tormented himself really, because he doesn't know how he feels or understand what it is he's feeling. And he needs a psychiatrist.
He does. I mean, at that point, Will fakes Freddie Lowndes' death. So, but the way they do it in the show is you genuinely think he's killed her, because they play it off so you don't know whether or not he's going to turn. And uses basically some of the corpse of the Sabretooth dude to feed to Hannibal, to make him think that they've just killed and eaten Freddy, which then leads to Will being in trouble again with the FBI, because they're like, self-defense is one thing, you can't then mutilate and cannibalize your victim. So there's a bit of an issue with that. So we basically, the season finale sees Jack and Will's plan completely fucking fall apart. Again, like I said, Will's facing jail for the manipulation of the assassin. He ends up tipping off Hannibal, which is a bit of a scene where you're like, dude, we had this plan.
You wanted to kill him, but now you want to love him.
And it is here that the relationship is absolutely at its most complicated, and this is where the last swerve of the season comes in, where Hannibal reveals that Abigail Hobbs is actually alive, and it's kind of like almost like a gift to Will if Will leave with him. Like, Hannibal knows the net is closing. He knows Jack knows. He knows what's coming on.
Yeah. But he wants to share his darkness, his dark passenger, I guess, with Will, because Will understands him.
But it's
and having this daughter character kind of has a family
but it's
bond.
kind
That's
of
the
that
ego again of Lecter.
Well, it's his weakness.
It's his weakness as well.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. All these traps, he's luring all these people in, like, ha ha ha, I'm going to do all these tricks.
Will Graham is also really lonely. They're both very lonely people, and they have this thing together.
But Graham's a family man.
No, not at this point he isn't.
No.
Not at this point.
He will become that.
Yeah, to
and
a
he
point.
won't actually like if they went with season 4, if they decided to go with Will Graham running off into the sunset with Lecter, like they did with Clarice in the book of Hannibal, not in the films, a lot of the fans would probably be like,
Do you know what? I
not.
think if it had gone 7 seasons, I think they would have gone off together.
Yeah.
I really do,
Yeah.
and I'd have been so happy with that. I'd have been like, I hope they make it.
If they go 7 seasons,
Those murder husbands.
Oh, bless them. But the we end up with basically, I mean, Alana's pushed from a window by, I believe, Abigail.
Right.
You know, Hannibal ends up, because Will then rejects his sort of gift and says, like, no, we can't do it. He ends up actually killing Abigail. And sort of like gutting Will, leaving him for dead.
Yep.
And
There's
then
lots of people bleeding
escaping.
everywhere.
Everyone's bleeding out, and Hannibal leaves. And there is actually a post-credit scene as well, which a lot of people missed because they weren't expecting there to be a post-credit scene where you see Hannibal on a plane, kind of like Hannibal, but he's with Bedelia. So he's with Gillian Anderson's character.
Going to Italy.
Going somewhere, which we'll learn is Florence. Yeah. This was the best season.
It was.
Season 2 was fucking
It
immense.
was dark, twisted, full of surprises, backstabs, betrayals,
and we're saying spoilers, but we haven't scratched the surface of what happened.
And Mason Verger was just so brilliantly played. He was such a highlight. And it's understandable why they don't have the same actor. I mean, his face is so mangled anyway.
Yeah.
But I was glad that the character still got what usually it has coming to him in the third season.
And I like the performance of the. It's terrible. I didn't write his name down, but I like that performance. But I would have loved to have seen what Michael Pitt did with it. You know, because it's that thing of. I mean, if you remember, I remember the first time I watched Hannibal. I mean, it genuinely was difficult to look at Gary Oldman's face in that makeup, and it's not far off the same. I think they've softened it a touch. Because he's on camera for so long.
And
if I had to look at that for so long, I'd be a bit, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. You know? But it is still, I think it's the only recast in the entirety of the 3 seasons.
It is,
and it's fine, but I really, man, when you watch that scene where he's cutting his face off, it's one of the most incredible bits of acting I've ever seen in my life.
So take it away.
No, go for it. So season 3, it's a season of 2 halves, really. So the first 7 episodes is basically Hannibal.
Yes.
The film, the book.
Yeah, the story.
And then the last 6 is Red Dragon.
Yeah.
And then there's a tiny bit in the middle where they kind of Salt Bay in a bit of Hannibal Rising. Just a little bit.
Just a tease.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So Hannibal arrives in Florence. And you can this is a kind of, you know, he's got the sense that his capture is most likely pretty imminent because he really takes some risks in Florence. Like, he assumes someone's identity. You've seen the film. He assumes the identity of someone. You know, there's a lot of risky kills and very impulsive kills.
There's a cop he pushes out the window.
Yeah, there's an amazing one at the dinner table where he just plants a dude with a fucking screwdriver, literally, or an ice pick, and he even sits down himself and goes... He's eating like that may have been impulsive.
Yeah, but I think he knows he's going to get caught, and he's just enjoying this last spree.
Dude, I wrote it's like a serial killer's Jolly Boys outing.
Yes, He's like, I'm going down. You know? I'm going to do whatever it is. I'll get it out of my system now because I'm going to be locked away for a while.
So, and Bedelia is in tow as his wife, essentially, with a different name. She's drugged in this series. You know, she's definitely under the influence. She's definitely out of it a lot of the time. So this is where
with him.
Yes and no.
It's hard to say whether she's in on it or not.
She plays a very
she's
clever part. Sometimes, but sometimes not so much. She almost encourages herself to be completely lost, possibly in a way to like get rid of the guilt of it. I think by the end of it, because she actually ends up leaving breadcrumbs. She'll go and pay for. She'll go and buy very specific food and wine on credit cards, which is traceable, which is actually how they kind of find him. You know, so she's leaving breadcrumbs for Jack to find. So they split the episodes up early to show sort of like where each character has ended up. And the series is sort of like really building to Jack and Will travel into Florence to capture Hannibal.
Yeah.
Now in episode 3, which is the kind of like little break away from it, is we see Will travel to Lecter's family home in Lithuania. And I will admit this, as a fan, I still enjoy season 3. This is where we meet the most useless fucking character in the entirety of the season in Chico.
Yes, yeah.
Who's sort of a childhood friend of Hannibal's. She's Asian for 2 reasons. One, it kind of ties in to his auntie from the books Hannibal Rising.
Sure.
And people were mad that they killed Beverly Katz, the only Asian cast member, and they were like, we want another one. So yeah, she's basically she's there at the Lecter family home, guarding a man who apparently killed Hannibal's sister. Now, but what's interesting is they're very guarded about Hannibal's backstory. They don't touch it, and again, probably because it was planned out. You know, I'm sure we would have got a couple of seasons more where they went back in time, but you know, it's a guy that apparently killed his sister. Even though the one little thing you do get, and if you've read the books or you've seen the film, you kind of, if we go by that. There's a point where Bedelia's it's actually he's washing her hair, she's in the bath, and after there's a little conversation, and the last thing she says to him is, what did your sister taste like? And then disappears under the water. So you're kind of like, yeah. So it kind of leads to sort of like, you know, they'll probably go with the original story if they'd have had the time to. You know what I mean? So Chico and Will basically leave for Florence. She ends up betraying him, and then just becomes the world's most convenient sniper. Just popping up when they need one, really. She manages to sort of like, she pops Will to save Hannibal at one point when they're both captured by agents that are trying to collect the bounty on Lecter that Mason Verger has put out. Right. You know, she pops them all then. They pull in the scene where Hannibal goes to remove Will's head. He's got Jack Crawford drugged in this one. Yeah. And it's like, again, he damn near cuts his fucking head open because you see him like get about this far. Crawford's like screaming, you know, because he's paralyzed. It's crazy. So yeah, there's a little bit of hit and miss with some of the characters in this season. I've got to admit, you know, Will's is a little bit, you know, he's still he seems to be like full of regret over what would have happened if he would have left with Hannibal and Abigail. So on the other side, you have Alana teaming up with Verger to kind of capture Hannibal. She ends up falling for Margot, and those two striking up a relationship. Now, I mean, in the books, Margot was gay. She was actually a bodybuilder. There was a great dynamic with her and Barney, the orderly from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. You know, they're both into bodybuilding. He kind of falls for her, and she's like, "I'm gay, you fucking asshole." And stuff, you know. But again, it's still all there between her and Mason, where, you know, he's obviously abused her as a child and everything like that. So you've got that part going on. Mason's constantly reminding it's very. I think every episode you're reminded, if Mason dies with no male heir, Margot gets nothing. Yeah. And Mason keeps talking about them having a Verger baby, which is obviously an incestuous baby that he wants to have because he's fucked up. Bear in mind, in the last season, he gave her a hysterectomy. So after we, I've got to raise a point of. So Jack catches up to Hannibal in Florence and beats the fucking shit out of him. Like, catches him in the museum and just goes and just like, about all that shit last season when you had me locked in a pantry, and just progresses to throw him through every display he can find.
Yes. Repeatedly.
And it's really satisfying with some amazing music playing in the background, and you really
there's so much like classical music throughout the show.
Jack got yours then. Yes.
Do we have a 3-year time jump now as well?
That's after the finale, but yeah, it does jump. We have they eventually, you know, they as it follows with the film and the books, Verger captures Hannibal and Will, takes him back to Muskrat Farm, which is the estate he owns, and then reveals that his plan is to basically eat Hannibal whilst wearing Will's face.
Right.
So is handyman Cordell, and I'm going to call out Glenn Fleshler, who plays Cordell. Now, he played the Yellow King in True Detective. Nice. And was Randall and Joker. Right. You know, the big guy that gives him the gun and he murders and, you know, the thing with the dwarf.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking stellar performance. He's so sinister. He describes in like delightful detail how he's going to
do
cook
it.
each part of Lecter in this real casual. He's like, "Well, what would you do first?" He's like, "Cut off your toes, of course. Saute them in garlic, you know." And so that's the plan. Is Mason's going to have a face transplant, wear Will's face, and eat Hannibal because, of course, you would. So around this, again, it kind of falls on one of that. That's not the worst thing to happen at this point. In this mid-season finale on Muskrat Farm is actually at some points quite difficult to watch, because we have Alana and Margot then be told by Mason that there's a surrogate on the farm carrying a Verger baby.
Oh God!
Which they then proceed to
pig.
find a pig.
It's a pig
that's been implanted with a human. He's incubated a human infant.
Fetus, yeah.
In a pig, who is then stillborn, because of course it is, because it's in a fucking pig.
Yeah.
So that, funnily enough, is the final straw.
Really?
Because it is Margot's child. You know, he reveals that, you know, they've saved some eggs and all that. You know, so and it's his sperm, so it's their baby. So they basically end up releasing Hannibal with the promise that he'll, and again, that's straight out of the books. He's literally like, Margot, I'll fucking, you know, it'll be me that's done it.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is how you kill Mason, and take some hair. It's me. He's like, I'll gladly write a confession letter. He's like, what's another fucking 25 years at this point?
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They end up. Verger wakes up because he's got to get his, you know, because this guy is the most bastard of bastards. He wakes up with his new face on, to find out that he's wearing Cordell's face, not Will's. And that's when Margot and Alana kill him. He's got the I think it's in the film with the electric eel in the pool.
Yeah.
And they knock him into the pool, and the electric eel
No, in the
swims
film,
into his mouth.
in the film he gets eaten by
He gets
pigs.
thrown into the pigs, but I think he's got the eel in his office. I mean, sorry, so in this, like, again, it's very stylish. He's got a pit with an eel.
He
in it.
does have the pig farm that he feeds people to.
And it's so that's how Alana and Margot are able to escape. They've also harvested some of his sperm, so that between that and Alana, they're able to produce a Verger baby, so that basically she can keep her money. So that wraps that up. So as it kind of finishes the mid-season, Will kind of asks Hannibal to like leave. He's just like, just go, just get the fuck out of here. And Hannibal, in the biggest kind of show of jerkery that he's done, basically just goes like, nah, do you know what, I'm gonna give myself up. And as he says to him, it's like, you'll always know where I am then. So he gives himself up, and that's where we sort of like leave Hannibal now, classically incarcerated in Silence of the Lambs kind of
territory. I suppose there's a twist on how Graham caught him, isn't it? Because obviously in the books and the film, he caught Hannibal after reading that.
Blind luck, as he said, which, I mean, again, all this translates.
Hannibal,
he talks about that in the very first episode when he catches Garrett Jacob Hobbs. He's like, blind luck and bad bookkeeping.
But Hannibal almost killed Graham. That's what built on their story.
Hannibal almost kills Graham at this point, I think, every other episode.
It's
I'm saving you this this week. Okay, stab you in this one.
Exactly. It's they're they're trying to tempt each other over. Yeah, well, I mean, Hannibal's trying to tempt Will to the dark side.
But now the introduction of
the Red Dragon.
Fairy.
Well, we skip second half. We shoot forward 3 years, and so now it's time to enter the dragon.
Yeah.
It literally, and it does follow, and not in a bad way. It follows the beats of Red Dragon. It's all there. We've got Richard Armitage as Francis Dollarhide. Again, as I mentioned, Thor and Oakenshield.
Yeah. Great showing. As
fantastic performance.
Frightening as well.
It's they bring Will back. This is now when he's with a wife now and everything.
It's the fact that he's already said, I'm not doing this profiling anymore because of what happened. But Crawford's like, come on, one more job. Like this guy, Red Dragon, he's really bad.
It's the Tooth Fairy killings. Chilton, because we can't forget about Chilton, can we? Because it's the third series. Chilton takes on the Freddie Lowndes role, where he writes the story to try and draw him out. Where he writes a deflammatory story about the Tooth Fairy.
Right.
So, I mean, at this point as well, Chilton's like even more of an asshole, walking around selling his story and writing books about it all. Francis captures him. He does the whole "you owe me all, I'm the dragon" and everything.
Yeah.
And again, stylistically wise, what is incredible in this series for me, some people didn't like it. I loved it. Is because of the way it's set up, we actually see him as the dragon. It's not just the tattoo. Yeah. You fucking
the
see
wings,
when
everything. The special effects are
when he's like
becoming
mate. When he's talking to Lecter, you know, like they use the same beats where it's like, you know, he'll phone pretend to be his lawyer so they can have a private conversation, or they'll communicate through the paper. When they do that, it shoots them into Hannibal's office. So like whenever anyone's talking to Hannibal in his cell, it's not his cell. He's using his mind palace to project his office.
Yeah, that's right.
So when he's describing I'm becoming the dragon, you see Hannibal, he's just sat there looking at him, and he is the dragon in front of him, and it's amazing. So they have that scene with Chilton, and then it's Chilton that is set on fire and shot down the rampway. Doesn't die though straight away. Oh my god! And then in some of the most horrific burn victim makeup I've ever seen, you have to then because again he gets his lips bitten off by the
after
thing.
he's been set on fire.
Before he's set on fire.
Yeah, because he sends the lips to Hannibal. There's a really funny scene where he eats one in front of Alana. Actually, he just like sucks it up. And
so they wouldn't have been able to go into a season 4 with Clarice because he was kind of pinnacle for the whole.
I think they would have there's a couple of other characters that they brought in that could have taken over
because of the rights issues.
I suppose that's a good idea. A good point.
I don't think that they were ever really going to bring. Well, I mean, I'll show. By the time you get to the ending, it's like there was nothing left for Clarice to come in and do anyway. But so we have. Sorry, like I said, I just feel bad for Chilton in that whole thing. Just like he's an asshole, but he gets absolutely battered.
Not to get too distracted, but the guy playing the Tooth Fairy, what's he like in comparison to Tom New and Ralph Fiennes?
He's different again.
He's different again. He's just that softly spoken guy. He's in great shape, you know. But it's all there.
But when he's the dragon, you feel the menace, the monster, the beast is there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, we have the way they build the finale. Then is that Will and Jack come up with the idea to kind of orchestrate moving Hannibal to bait the Tooth Fairy, which again, it's not a perfect season. Works, and the Tooth Fairy like jacks his car up and sets Hannibal free, but it results in like several police officers dead, and you're like, Jack, no wonder you keep getting in trouble. That was really fucking stupid. So Hannibal and Will sort of go to this hideaway of Hannibal's, and again we get all the same beats where, like, you know, he goes after he sets him against Will's wife and child and stuff, and they only just get away. So we're at this hideaway, and you have this incredible sort of like long conversation between Will and Hannibal about how they've got to this point before they're interrupted by the dragon. You know, there's this huge fight between them and Dollarhide. There's a point where like Dollarhide, he's got Will down, he's walking towards him, and his wings just pop out behind him, you know, because that's how Will's seeing him. It's amazing. And they managed to, you know, spoilers, they managed to kill him, you know, on this they're on like a cliff top. And then there's just this wonderful slow musical score playing out as Hannibal and Will just they're cut to ribbons at this point.
Hannibal's been shot
how
in the
they're
back.
alive,
Will's
I don't
been stabbed
know.
multiple times. They're bleeding.
They're pulling themselves up on each other. You know, it's like Ric Flair and the Undertaker.
They're just clawing at each other, but they're also caressing each other and supporting each other.
You're almost like, if they'd have kissed, I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah,
and I think it's
on
almost
set. Both the actors said, "This is where we kiss," right? And they were like.
A lot of people do say
you don't need it.
They're like, this is where it proves that Hannibal's sort of like gay and stuff, and you're like, well, I mean, maybe, yeah, no, yes, no.
Maybe it was just he was kind of everything. He's been alone for a lot of his life.
He makes it very clear that Will's literally the only person that he's ever felt that kind of connection.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because Will pitches them both off the fucking cliff.
Yes.
Yeah, because Will's not into that shit.
And that's how it ends. Clearly, he's like, not on my watch. That's it. It's the right back four. They go off the the cliff.
We don't see them splat.
It fades to black, and there is again just one post-credit scene, which is still being argued today because arguably you don't know where in the timeline it sits.
Yeah. Right.
But it's Bedelia again, the queen of the post-credits in Hannibal. Who is
she sat at a big dinner table with two empty chairs with plates of food in front of them.
You see her you can tell she's clearly not of her right mind, but she does take the knife almost like Clarice does, where she slides the knife away. There's a big steaming sort of platter in the middle of the table, and as it pans down, she's missing a leg.
So
they're feeding on her.
So either Hannibal doesn't die and that's something that happens later, or that was possibly something that happened before he was incarcerated. Maybe it happened before Will and Hannibal went there, because obviously she was alive while he was incarcerated. So
I would so eat Gillian.
Or maybe it's I would too. Maybe it's a copycat. We don't know, and it doesn't matter because due to poor viewership, they fucking cancelled it.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just couldn't get into it.
I mean, there's still some talks occasionally of a revival because everyone said they'd return. Absolutely, they would return for more seasons if another network were willing to pick them up, sort out the copyright or rights issues.
But is it just not perfect the way it is to be able to
it also is the way where it is
in the Hannibal universe?
I mean, it's its own separate timeline compared to the other movies and the books. It's its own interpretation, and it is one of the most flawless. It is such a high bar set for horror television that will be really difficult to surpass.
I can't think of anything that's come close to it for me personally. And also, look, it's all on Prime. Go watch it.
Yes, hell yes.
Watch it, like it, and just and
then they'll bring back season 4, and hopefully, if they decide to like an original story involving Hannibal and Graham, but at the same time expanding, because one of the things that put me off from watching the series was the fact that I knew how it was going to pan out. I knew at some point Graham was going to capture Hannibal, lock him up. So finding out all this backstory, finding out about the character, like my problem is I'm always watching far too many shows that I'm like, I can't balance 5 shows at once, and then somebody goes, oh, you really got to watch this series about this hideously deranged serial killer cannibal, who puts these bodies into really terrible positions. I'm like, no. I want to sleep tonight,
It is horrifying and grotesque, but it is also immaculately done and presented in terms of the music, the editing, montages.
We haven't even touched on the subliminal sort of visions that like Will sees, where he sees like this Wendigo character as Hannibal, and he imagines killing Hannibal multiple ways. And he turns into oh my god, the subliminal imagery in it is incredible. I've so badly got that Wendigo character. I keep saying to friend of girl who did one of my last tattoos, I'm like, have you seen Hannibal? She's like, are you going to ask me to do a Wendigo tattoo? I was like, is that all right? She went, I've been dying to do that for ages. I was like, oh, we need to watch that now.
Nice.
Sorry, I just you did to set this image. If you look in the back, saying, I said Wendigo, not Mandingo.
Yeah. I'm going to start it on your upper thigh, and we'll... What?
Well, that is going to conclude part 2 of the podcast. We hope you enjoyed our Hannibal discussion. We're going to take a quick break, but then we'll be back for the third and final part of the podcast, answering your questions.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere.
Eat the rude.
And welcome back, everybody, to part 3 of the podcast, where we're going to be answering your questions.
Yes.
So, I'm going to be throwing it over to Ian first up for the Facebook questions.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of questions from Facebook. I love sticking it out there, but I always forget because I'm always worked so hard. I know,
just like dangling it out there, see if anyone bites. Gives it a nibble.
Just holding it out with both hands, and just like swinging it in the wind, and just being like, "Hey guys, what do you think of this?" Seeing what happens. And we got a first question from I think it's pronounced Havard Ryan. What up, Ryan?
What's up, man?
Ryan.
2 parts of this question, so he's kind of cheating, but we'll let him off first timer. What is your favourite bad movie scene? Mine, for instance, is Garbage Day from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Garbage Day.
Yeah.
And his second part of the question is, how is Jez, and will we see him again on the podcast reviews? Well, we will at some point when we can wrangle in and get the time, and obviously, synchronise our time with Jez's time, because he's just awfully busy.
Always,
like the guy lives a high life. Like we tend to try to believe that all he does is sit around and play World of Warcraft, but I think he's a double agent, on a mission somewhere in Colombia.
I think so right now.
He couldn't say really.
He would know. If he told us, he'd have to kill us.
Yeah, so we just try to avoid that. But
so was it favourite scene in a bad movie?
What is your favourite bad movie scene? Mine, for instance,
bad movie scene. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that one? It was one of the Howlings where he like confronts him and he's all like, "It's you, isn't it, that's been doing this, that, and the other?" And he literally goes, "So fucking what?" and jumps on him. And I was like, that fucking popped me hard. That one.
That narrows it down. It could be number 4 or 5. 5 was bad.
you've got Troll 2.
Yeah, well...
Oh my god, they're eating him, and then they're going to be eating me.
Oh, man, there are so many. Like, the flute sequence from Alien Covenant.
Oh god, it's not a favourite, though. That's just an embarrassment.
Favourite.
That's just a bad
favourite. Yeah,
dude.
sorry, I forgot the favourite mode.
There's going to be something that you cheer or like or just, or quote all the time.
Give you
because
that.
it was so bad.
It's so bad, isn't it? Like,
Oh, well, I mean, now, sort of like, I'm just like, let's start bringing up Adam Sandler movies, right? You know?
well, we could do that just to throw that in. I'm looking at all my good movies at the moment. In fairness, I did watch Demolition Man last night. I mean, is Demolition Man a good movie or a bad movie?
It's a great shit movie.
Yes.
But like there was a sequence where he's just stood in front of the ticket machine.
Yeah.
And he's just like
And the
fucking
fines.
swearing.
It's not a bad
the fuck
scene.
out.
That's a great scene.
So, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's,
Statham punching the shark.
In Meg. That's
I
awesome.
can't.
That's all I went
didn't
to see
like
that film
Meg.
for.
I didn't like Meg. No. Okay, the next question we got from Nick Luisi.
What's up,
What up,
Nick?
Nick?
Yo, Nick.
Love the answers last time. Before I ask, I want to reiterate that you all two got me through 2020 and 2021 with your reviews. So again, a huge thank you to both of yous, Andy and Jez too. Now
Welcome,
on to the
dude.
question. Now he has a question, then he has added a little bit extra, so I'll throw the extra in. Love watching the film reviews. It's like watching myself if I was going to review similar films. And he almost forgets, mostly for Gary here. I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and in the same episode they used 2 popular buildings from Buffy. Netflix HQ was the Wolfram and Hart building, and Albert Brooks' house is Angel's Mansion from season 2.
Nice.
Uber nerding.
Stock footage.
Yeah. Now
No
onto his
idea.
question. We all know and love a good evil corporation, Wayland Yutani and Umbrella. But do you guys have an unsung favourite that doesn't get as much recognition? It can be evil like fuck about and fucking around with science, or all about money, or straight up hell incorporated. Example: Wolfram and Hart.
Yeah.
OCP.
OCP, yeah.
See, now I thought
Cyberdyne.
I was thinking
Umbrella.
OCP, but I also they don't actually have a name, but the company from Cabin in the Woods that actually runs.
Oh, okay,
the
yeah,
whole
good call.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The evil corporation in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh,
They're
yes.
selling all the masks.
The Silver
I can't remember what
Shamrock
company
one.
they were. The Silver Shamrock one.
Silver Shamrock Company. See, now OCP, like I said, after watching RoboCop, OCP just like sat up there as just like the most realistic but evil corporation.
But he wanted unsung ones or lesser known ones.
less known ones.
Tesla. Yeah, I think no, but I think that's the best one. That or the one from Cabin in the Woods.
That's what that's
a
it.
really good
'Cause they
one.
just
Although,
didn't
yeah,
have
but
a name.
arguably, they're not a bad company because
They're trying to save the
save the
world.
world every
Yeah.
time. Though. That's
But
the
they
problem,
are
dude.
bad because
they're enforcing
Because they're killing people and they're
sacrifices.
sacrificing
trying to
people,
kill
yeah.
people, yeah. Like a terrible. Most of them are like.
Oh well, I
James
mean,
Bond
like
companies.
a pretty bad company is Elite Hunting from Hostel.
Yeah,
True.
They're
true.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting a tattoo.
I don't know if they've got a company name, but the sex traffickers from Taken. I don't know if you can like trade on them like they're a company, but still.
I wouldn't want to praise them though.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, like they are a good business model, dude. Just a dude hanging out at the train station abducting dickheads.
Yeah.
See the company from the Belko experiment as well. That's a pretty good company. Like, just turn up to work one day and all of a sudden you're just in lockdown. You have to kill everybody inside.
Yeah. I mean the
I'd be really good at that game in my job.
the Severance Corporation.
I've been waiting for ages.
Yes.
I'm really enjoying that show. I can't wait for season 2.
Oh, the Assassin's Company from Polar, the Mads Mikkelsen Hitman movie.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Run by Matt Lucas, where it's sort of like he's retiring with a full pension, and they're like, "Oh, not on my watch!" Like, start going after him. Johnny Knoxville's in that thing.
Nice.
Pretty
nice.
good.
Nice.
Good
Next
question.
question
Very
is
good
from
question.
Craig Hall. What
What's
up,
up, Craig?
Before I ask my question, can we all raise a glass to the genius that was Vangelis? His music output was stunning, especially his soundtrack for Blade Runner. Anyway, back to the Q&A. What events in your own lives would you like to make a film of, and who would you cast in the main roles? Stay shelfie, folks.
The question again?
A moment in your life that you'd make a film of, and who would you cast in the main roles?
I don't think anything in my life has happened that's interesting enough to make a film out of it.
See, I've just completely just thought this up on the spot. See, I would...
You in that cinema shouting at that woman in Robocop. Right.
No. I would have my wedding filmed. But it's actually the main story is about me getting married, but it is flashing back to flashbacks about me and Linda and our lives getting up to there. So the audience totally doesn't believe, like, how the fuck did that guy go from this to there? You know, but obviously it's just all played out.
Who's playing the part?
See, now do I want to go super sexy or like? I mean, like.
You're like Idris Elba.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll just go with me and Linda. You know, just like.
I can't.
Man, I would have the year that we all lived together.
Oh, nice.
In was it Barron Street?
Yeah.
A year in that house. I don't know who you would get to cast.
Like
all
Pauly
of us,
Shaw.
Could they be living or dead actors, or can we DH people?
Oh my god.
Man,
fuck it. We'll Disney DH us and do it. Yeah, totally. That would be it. But I mean, you could turn it into like a stoner flick or something, I guess.
The funny thing, the kid that I think would actually play me, I've seen him in quite a lot. I don't know if I keep mistaking this actor as well. I saw him recently. He was in. Like, have you guys seen American Made with Tom Cruise? No. He was in that. He played the brother-in-law in that. I think he plays Banshee in X-Men First Class.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know if he's the same actor, but it's he was also in Byzantium. I think he played the blood loss guy.
Right.
In that, but he's like a ginger-haired kind of
young Ian
kind of looking guy. I think, but yeah.
No.
I'll get one of the stranger kids to play me.
What scene would you have?
I just muck in with Gary and say just like another year in the house or something. I can't think of anything that
just party like
dude. I can't think of any sort of like event in my life that'd be worth making a movie out of.
Like, if we did a year of that house, it'd be like a cross between.
I guess I could do I tell you what, I could do the charity boxing match. Thing, just the fucking horrific build up of that through like 2-3 cancellations and lockdown.
There was a film that came out, it might have been like 20 years ago now. It wasn't called X, but it was about a group that decided to throw a party.
Yeah.
And the party ended up spreading all the way around like the neighborhood,
the
garden.
Yeah.
Like, things
I know
the escalation of the party.
Yeah.
That would be the film.
How we ever survived that.
Nice.
Okay, next question is from Holtz Mason. What up, Holtz?
Yo, Holt.
Just wanted to say I love the reviews you guys do. You both do a great job, and I really like the fact that most of the reviews are around or at least an hour because I really like depth, long form reviews. Have you ever thought about doing a review for the movie Clue? It was a favourite of mine growing up, right? And still to this day. Keep up the great work. I bought that movie on DVD recently, watched it through, and I was like, yeah, totally could fucking review this movie.
Oh, we, of course, we'd review anything. We'd have the Patreon priority list. I don't want to plug it right now, but if you do want to have us review a particular film, we do work on a Patreon system and make sure that we can keep the show going as we are funded by fans tipping us on Patreon every week. And yeah, we've got some bizarre and interesting films coming up. We've got a Japanese animated film coming up pretty soon, actually, which I'm just like, I know nothing about this series, this film, these characters, but I'll go do it. We'll go do it.
And somebody picked Eddie.
Then somebody chose
Somebody
Eddie.
picked Eddie. Somebody was just like, you guys should watch
your
Eddie.
Your Patreon list is clearly like, I've had to sit through this and watch it. I know 2 other assholes that are going to have to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them.
See, the next question is from Eric Holmes, but it's kind of around the same thing. Love your reviews. Quick question. Do you have plans to review Dead Alive or Brain Dead outside the US? Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. No, we tend to try to stay away from horror movies, especially like things with gore. I can't do gore. Gary's, right, obviously, he's dyslexic with blood.
You got the bite!
Man,
I thought you'd done that movie.
No, we've not done any Peter Jackson movies. Actually,
no, we have. We did.
Bad Taste.
Right?
We did Bad Taste.
Frighteners. We did Bad Taste.
We did Bad Taste. Would love to.
Small spoilers. There is one of his films on the list coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, it better not be Lovely Bones because that fucking kills me. That movie fucking kills me. The next question is from David Morris.
What's up, David?
What up, David? As always, fantastic podcast and review, fellas. Love the kids' TV show Battle Royale you did last time. My question this time is if you had to do it with your favourite PC console games from your youth, which would get into the battle? Fist bumps all round.
Oh, sorry. If we had to do the same battles we did with the cartoon,
Yeah, I
was
thought the
very
question
confused.
was
Yeah, but with which
if we wanted to have sex with our consoles, it wouldn't work.
So what was it? Sorry, consoles.
What to do it with your favourite PC console games?
Oh,
What
okay.
would
So any
get
games
into-
from our youth then.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh, okay.
Oh man,
If it was games from that period, it'd be Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, Metal
Duke
Gear
Nukem,
Solid,
yeah.
Tekken, Mortal Kombat,
Tekken, Mortal
The
Kombat.
Discworld games, Tomb Raider,
Command and
Hogs of
Conquer,
War,
Yeah,
Streets of Rage. Good
Streets
call,
of Rage, hell
man.
yeah,
Good call.
Golden Axe,
RoboCop versus Terminator.
Shinobi.
Man, I played
Sonic.
Bruce Lee on the Spectrum and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim gets in there again.
Oh man.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Desert Strike, Jungle Strike,
Nice.
Soviet Strike.
All those strikes.
All the strikes, baby.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna try.
Fucking
a little,
Sim City. I love
Yeah,
Sim City when I was
SimCity,
a
hell
kid.
yeah,
My
yeah,
daughter's
same.
obsessed
I
with The
still
Sims
play
now. It's really funny.
Tropico in,
I'm gonna
in spirit of it.
try a little experiment. Okay. Right. On 3, say the first game that appears in your head from 1990 to 2000. Okay. I'll give you a couple of seconds.
I already got one.
Right. You've already got one, Andy.
From 1990 to 2000.
Yeah, yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Goldeneye.
Doom.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Resident Evil 2, Doom, and Goldeneye. Nice.
No Mercy.
Yeah.
You knew I was
The
going to say Resident
Smackdowns
Evil.
as well.
Well, no, I didn't. Such a broad spectrum, but yeah.
Oh,
I-
Yeah.
Fucking Ocarina of Time.
Right.
Conquers Bad Fur Day.
No.
yeah. So that's all the questions I've got from the Facebook.
Nice, very good, very
Good
good. Well, I
questions.
have some other questions from the Facebook that you must have missed.
Nice.
This one's from Joshua.
What up, Joshua?
What's up,
You
man?
probably already answered this, but how did Off the Shelf come to be?
Sitting around in a pub and club, getting drunk, talking about movies.
Yeah. We have answered this question quite a few times.
Yeah, but-
So maybe our history just gets truncated now
Well,
to...
that's basically it. You and me sat in that pub and club and talking about Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead movies
And
then-
Aliens and
Constantly
and then-
watching movies when we lived together. It's
and
all
yeah,
we
yeah,
did.
exactly.
We did. Yeah, TV shows,
and that's
movies,
it.
and
It
talk
was
to them.
just hidden, and we I think lived in such an amazing. We still do live in such an amazing time, even though there's horrible shit going on in the world. That we have just been gifted with media to be able to talk about it,
Yeah.
and then have the technology to say it. Because obviously we always had the idea of sitting down and recording it, but you need the cameras, you need the microphones, you need the setup. And while we started doing this, YouTube was such a tiny little thing. I don't even think fucking Twitch was a thing.
No,
No,
dude. I mean, I'm not
yeah.
I'm not exaggerating when I say when we all lived together, it was sort of like broadband was just taking
Yeah,
off, and
yeah.
we were like, "Dude, I downloaded this movie in 4 hours."
Yeah.
Yeah! Like,
What are you
know.
talking about? Mobile phones. Nobody's got mobile phones. You know.
I couldn't call you. I haven't got any credit.
But,
Yeah.
other than
Crazy.
our love of films, one of my third year university projects required me to make a video project, and I did a film review in the style of a Grindhouse director.
Yes.
And we did 2 of those, and I put them up on YouTube, just because you never know what might happen. And then a few months later, we were just like, should we just film some of these reviews? We're limited to 10-minute videos, 'cause
Yeah.
that was the way YouTube operated if you weren't a partner or anything. And we just kept going, and we never stopped.
Yeah.
We just didn't stop.
Just didn't stop. Just like, what's the next film on the list?
Yeah. Okay, the next question I have, I can't pronounce the name. It's
It's a bunch of backwards letters.
yeah, and
Not gonna lie.
Fist bump.
But fist bumps to you, sir.
question for the podcast: what, in your guys' opinion, is the greatest sequel ever made, and why is it T2? We've definitely talked about greatest
Yes.
sequels before, and T2 is definitely, absolutely one of them.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight is
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens, absolutely.
Grease
Evil
2.
Dead 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Jaws 2.
Empire Strikes
Get
Back.
Out.
Psycho 2.
Um,
Winter Soldier.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phantasm 2 is pretty badass compared to the first one.
Do you know what? Toy Story 2 is a fucking great sequel.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But T2 is really good.
Yeah. For me,
You know what I mean?
Aliens
is
T2
probably the
are two
top
of the
one.
greatest.
I'd probably go Dark Knight just because of reasons, obviously.
Aliens for me, greatest sequel.
I mean, I suppose it's more of a two-part. You argue the sequel, and this is a bit loose, but I fucking love Endgame. It's kind of a sequel.
I mean, if you wanted to get really sneaky, Army of Darkness is technically a sequel to Evil Dead 2 because Evil Dead 2 is a standalone movie, so Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah, great question.
And Caddyshack 2.
There was a second one?
yes, there was.
Alrighty, on to the Twitch questions. First one we have here is from Nellabo.
What up, Nilla?
What is your favourite scene in media film? Mine would be church scene in Kingsman.
Oh, that is amazing.
Oh, it's hard to top that one, dude, because that is a fucking amazing
You know
scene.
what tops that one? And I thank Nella for actually giving me the clue. It's fucking stick Freebird on any scene.
Oh man,
it just makes
Devil's
it amazing.
Rejects.
Devil's Rejects.
That finale.
So
is incredible.
Like, and the crazy thing is, I bought the GTA Definitive Trilogy.
Oh, you're the guy that bought it.
I've been playing San Andreas on the Switch. They had Freebird on there, and today I'm shitting you not. I was walking along. I needed a vehicle. There was a little road sweeper there. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just take that." And it just started playing Freebird, and I just drove around in this road sweeper listening to Freebird.
Nice.
The church sequence from Kingsman is just
great.
absolutely amazing. I will go with the blood sequence from The Thing.
I was about to say the blood testing sequence from The Thing.
I could have gone with anything,
John
but I'll
Carpenter,
go with that.
masterpiece right there.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the scene in the boat in Jaws, the Minneapolis speech and everything like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When Morpheus fights Neo,
Yeah.
I fucking love that
What,
scene.
the first one?
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
training room.
absolutely, yeah.
I love that scene so much in the
yeah.
in the first Matrix movie. It's
Tears in the
amazing.
Ring, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
One of the greatest cinematic moments ever, probably for me.
Yeah.
Although, of course, Aliens, I love the entire power processing unit with the Marines going in, hitting the hive and getting out. That whole sequence, James Horner's soundtrack.
Yeah. I'll mention it for the second time tonight, but when Vader lights up that lightsaber in Rogue One, dude, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like, that is amazing and still is good, you know?
Yeah,
that one's pretty great. But dude, I gotta admit, man, that Kingsman scene is one of the best things. It's one of those where you're like, if you're ever, have you seen Kingsman? No, we should watch it. Not sure. Watch this first. Like, just fucking watch this scene.
It's because that scene, like when you get to it, the movie changes. From that point
absolutely, yeah.
I've got another good one as well because it's still fresh in my head. It's a sequence where RoboCop is just stood there in the fucking warehouse and he's like, "Come quietly, or there'll be trouble." Fuck you.
That's a fucking great scene, actually.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next question is from Richie DBZ.
What up, Richie?
If you can put Hannibal in any other horror thriller series, what would it be and why? For me, it would be Saw. So we can have a Hannibal versus John Kramer because they're both very intelligent, and I think Hannibal would manipulate others to do the traps.
Plus, it'd be amazing to hear John Kramer see one of Hannibal's crime scenes go, that's a bit fucking strong, isn't it? Alright, don't go mad.
Oh, what happens if Hannibal just happened to turn up and spend a couple of nights at Bates Motel?
He'd probably cure him in therapy.
Yes.
And leave. And Perkins would be fine.
What a happy ending to Psycho.
Yeah, and Bates would be like, it was my mother the whole time. Jaws, he just captures the shark and eats him.
Hannibal eats the shark.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, sure. Put him in House of a Thousand Corpses and watch Hannibal be like, all right, now everyone's going a bit far, yeah.
He'd become the surrogate dad.
Put him in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
The cannibal family.
He'd cure him as well.
He'd just be I think in Texas Chainsaw Massacre he'd be like, I'm not cooking in this kitchen. It's fucking disgusting.
I'm gonna put Hannibal for my I'm gonna put him in The Cube. Put him in a Cube movie.
He'd solve it. He'd eat everybody and then solve it.
Yep, exactly. He's got a food supply. He's got the people, but it's how he takes them out in which order. Unfortunately, he's not got much cooking options there, but yeah.
It's true.
Wild question, Richie.
Yeah, man. Good though.
Next question is from Justidge.
What up, Justin?
I just saw RoboCop for the first time and really enjoyed it.
You weren't talking all the way through it, were you?
Fantastic effects.
He took his girlfriend.
And the cheesiest 80s plot imaginable.
Oh, it's amazing.
I saw the remake when I was a lot younger and I didn't hate it. What are your guys' thoughts? RoboCop is one of the greatest action sci-fi movies ever made.
Yes.
Absolute masterpiece. Paul Verhoeven, genius. Captured the satire so well. Over the top, gore and violence, a great character, great set, one of the best scores to a movie. The moment you hear the RoboCop score,
Man, it was amazing. It was so good.
Oh.
So I love it in all of its glory. The remake I watched once and it was forgettable, pointless, PG tripe.
I haven't actually seen the remake, but I will say we're lucky because of like being born in 1982. We're 40 this year. That I got to watch RoboCop when I was way not age appropriate.
Yeah.
And I remember we got it. I really wanted to see it because I'd seen the posters of it, and it's like you're a kid. You're like the good guys.
Robot.
It's always about the good guys, isn't it? So you're like, he's a fucking police robot. The fuck, you know. I remember. No, but this is how I got the VHS of it.
Yeah.
Is there was like a club thing in the Sunday magazine where you could buy like 3 VHS videotapes from, like 3 movies out of a list of about probably 30, which was like the Netflix of our time.
For sure.
And you'd like tick off the ones you want, send it. Serious kids, like you're about to say like carrier pigeon or something, you send it in the post, and 24 days later, if you were lucky, it'd fucking come through the door. When that came through the door, I was so unbelievably excited to watch that movie. So I will always love RoboCop. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart because again, watching it, I was just like, I'm like 8 years old, and I'm like, they go back to rape that chick? Oh, he shot him in the dick. It's fine. But I was like, his way should not have been watching that movie.
Like the remake, I never wanted to watch a remake, but the problem with remakes is it's there. You have to watch it. You have to compare it.
But they're out of ideas. Let's just acknowledge that.
No. The funny thing is with RoboCop, it's just everything is just hyped up. So the special effects are a lot better. Because he can move like a. Do
you know what? I just remember. I don't know if it was in the trailer, but when I saw it, he kind of jumps out of a window and does the superhero landing, and it was at that point I turned the trailer off.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck you. No, I'm not doing it.
And it's
fuck your black tactical armor.
But the funny thing is, I mean, people say about RoboCop's satirical comedy in the first movie, and then obviously it was lost in the second movie because obviously they just tried to keep the franchise
It was just
there was a fucking pimpmobile in RoboCop 3, a cartoon fucking series, and then a TV series where there was a RoboCop with 2 guns. So now you're complaining about some CGI that just makes him move faster? No,
Clearly I am.
The remake's nowhere as good as the original RoboCop, but if you've never seen the original RoboCop and you watch the remake,
it was
serviceable.
A hollow, soulless film. I wouldn't even say serviceable.
Michael Keaton is great in it.
I'm so glad.
Gary Oldman
there's
is
so
great
many great
in
characters.
Gary Oldman's in it, right?
Samuel Jackson.
But they're all wasted. They are
all
heavily wasted
because it's a remake of an 80s satirical.
They had no passion for it. None of them was it a passion project.
No,
they just did it for a paycheck, and you felt that, and it was just.
Well, no, I don't feel that. I feel Samuel Jackson is selling me the media break kind of guy, just as well as Samuel Jackson can do. And Michael Keaton is doing the best he can to be the head of the OCP Corporation. I just want to see RoboCop. And then when I watch it, I'm like, you know what? I'll watch RoboCop 3.
It's much better.
Because RoboCop 2 is badass.
Glad you finally got to see RoboCop though, Tidge.
Yeah, man. Rite of passage.
Alright, next question is from Morphined21.
What up, Morphined?
Hey guys, since this is the Andy special, Andy, as a fan of the Batman comics, what are your thoughts on the fact that Batman is famous for having a diverse group of villains, but in the films we only get the same ones constantly? Also, why the hell was the Riddler more of an anti-hero than a villain?
Alright, well, I'll do those backwards, because I think, personally, the Riddler... I assume you're talking about the Batman, when you say about that one, yeah. I think he maybe saw himself as an anti-villain. I suppose.
Anti-hero.
Do you mean like anti-hero, sorry, rather
Yeah.
than villain? Because, yeah, he kind of believes he's doing something right, as all radicals do.
Right.
But obviously it was coming at the cost of a lot of dead, innocent people. So, I mean, if that's your take, fair enough. I don't personally think he was necessarily an anti-hero, but I would say that he certainly thought himself the hero in what he was doing. Why? Because they made Seven into a Batman movie, I guess. So... you're absolutely right as well. The Rogues Gallery is the best thing about Batman. Why do we keep getting the same ones? Because they don't want to take a risk. I mean, we talked about how like the Batman anytime they announce a new Batman movie. It's a huge thing about who's cast, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of the other characters have fallen into that, the Joker being the main one of them. So it's almost like the studio has... And look, a lot of the reason is because we're only getting them from Warner Brothers. And they clearly have only got so many fucking ideas, or what they're not willing to take very many risks.
No.
Personally,
would be, yeah.
I want to see Hush. I want to see Clayface.
I want to see a modern Poison Ivy.
I would like to see a decent Poison Ivy. I was really glad that Nolan at least rolled the dice on Scarecrow. That was great. I'd love to see Calendar Man, Professor Pig,
Egghead.
I would like to see Hugo Strange
Yeah.
taken seriously. The Gotham series did quite well, but kind of went too far the other way by just like they were, this is going to be like the series that's more about the Rogues Gallery, and like Penguin was really interesting and stuff like that. And then by the time they got to the end, they were like, oh fuck it, just bring in Bane this week, and that literally became Villain of the Week. So
yeah,
I think the long way around to answer your question is, I think because Warner Brothers are fucking spineless.
yeah,
it is just they're like,
risky.
and it's the same reason that I think we can talk about the Batman a bit more. We've never really covered it, and we didn't want to spoil it too much when it first came out, but everyone's probably seen the extra scene they released of the Joker.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. The scene that they used of the Joker in the movie wasn't. And it kind of felt like they pulled the scene with the Joker out because that's what Matt Reeves wanted to do.
Yeah, keep the
and
focus
someone in
on...
Warner Brothers was like, no, we have to have a Joker in it. We have to elaborate that we're going to show the Joker. And they quickly just fucking pushed...
Because they know Batman Joker sells.
They quickly threw the Joker in to like, so people were like,
tease, get excited, want more.
So I think that a lot of the time Warner Brothers are doing paint by numbers. If you want to see films with more interesting baddies in it, watch the animated ones.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah. Because they do have all of them.
Yeah.
Alright, great question though. Thank you, Morphine. Next question is from Midgley.
What up, Matt?
Is there a character in a movie you think could have been more iconic if played by a different actor? Mine is Sidney Prescott from Scream, played by someone such as Rosamund Pike or Kerry Washington. And I think Neve Campbell did pretty great as the role of Sidney. But yeah, could it have been...
I'll ask you something to answer that question. Who would you have cast in The Dark Tower?
Well, as the... I want Clint Eastwood.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood is, the man... is the gunslinger.
Yeah.
He absolutely is.
No, do you know who would have been? Timothy Olyphant would have been good.
Now would be...
And then when he met the Man in Black, it would have been Timothy Olyphant again.
yeah. Well, the Man in Black... that's Flag. That's the... Matthew McConaughey was an interesting choice to play the role. He... that was one of the interesting parts of the Dark Tower movie.
I'd like to...
But yeah, it'd always be Clint.
I am in the minority of actually liking Ben Affleck playing Batman, because I thought that was quite good. But when he was being cast, I would have really liked to have seen John Hamm have a crack at it. From Mad Men.
Oh yes, yeah, he's great. He's got the face, he's got the chin.
I think he would have absolutely fucking smashed it. As,
yeah.
Although if you watch like the original casting for Batman Begins, Cillian Murphy, who plays Scarecrow.
Yes.
There's footage of him as Batman in the
as Batman. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other really that could have been more iconic. So you've got to if Mads Mikkelsen could have played Hannibal Lecter all the way through the movies, but
that would have been really good.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. There's probably I keep in my head. For some reason, because of the last question, I keep reverting to fucking comic book movies. Because I'm after Green Lantern, I'm couldn't we have just added Idris Elba as is it Jon Stewart instead of how Jordan's, you know,
the thing
Ryan
is,
Reynolds
it's like
and stuff.
I'm thinking like iconic characters. I'm thinking Ripley. I'm thinking who could play Ripley better than Sigourney Weaver. I'm like
No one. Linda Hamilton.
I was just about to say that's probably the only one,
Possibly
right? Yeah.
Linda Hamilton at that time. I mean, like any other character, it would lose its gravitas, I suppose, of that position. I'm trying. Going from then iconic characters. Same with I'm thinking. Okay, who would be better playing Dutch than Arnie in Predator? I'm like,
No one.
Nobody,
No
because
one.
it loses that gravitas. So now
Yeah.
I'm thinking un-iconic characters, and who would play those kind of better. So I'm thinking maybe who would be better than Whoopi Goldberg and Eddie?
Me?
Like
Anybody. I don't know.
Anybody?
There's no saving that film or
Like-
making it more iconic.
Man.
Great question, though. Thank you, Matt. We have a question from Mongo Mongo.
What's
What
up, dude?
Mongo?
If there was a special sandwich made in your honor, what would be the name of your sandwich? By the way, you guys are really entertainment every time you guys are on the podcast, and I enjoy your reviews on YouTube. Fist bumps.
Finally, someone asks a question
That's a
that
good
we can all
question.
get behind.
I really like
Let's-
that.
That's the question.
Sandwiches.
Let's make some fucking sandwiches. Good question, dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What would be the name of your sandwich?
Okay, so I've
I
got
fucking love me some sandwiches as well. This is going to be really difficult. We're going to be here for a while.
ciabatta bread, right, sliced in half, toasted, with cheese, probably red Leicester and mature on either one, so then it's toasted. Then you lay ham, and then you lay some kind of like tapas, kind of Spanish type of meat. So not mainly pepperoni, but if you're into pepperoni, that's all right. Maybe some of that kind of
Yeah,
streaky
salami
bacon.
or something.
Salami and stuff. So just like 2 layers of meat on top of the cheese, then some lettuce, maybe some cucumber, because you gotta have your vegetables in there. You gotta even it out, and then you would fold it on to the top with whatever sauce you're in it, and you just call it the Ian.
The eat. All right.
I'm gonna eat.
Keeping
Ian.
it simple, Ian.
Yeah,
Now I've got to go with like it is gonna be some kind of steak sandwich.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice,
But it's gonna
nice.
be. It's probably.
You gotta
I'm
think
gonna
of
say
it.
focaccia bread
Yeah.
because it's got all that capacity to catch stuff in it.
Okay.
So it's gonna have like probably a mustard mayo on the bottom and a layer of nice crisp lettuce because I like the crunch. Medium rare steak, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, boom, on top of that. And then we've got to put it back under the grill because we're going to put something like maybe a what cheese, probably like a Gouda, something nutty,
Okay.
maybe on top of that, melt
Yeah.
that down. We're going to finish that on top with some strips of smoked streaky bacon. And then
So
on
hungry
the,
now.
I know, right? And then on the top as well, it's gonna need another sauce that's gonna complement the mustard mayo. Maybe something sweet, like a sweet chili kind of sauce, like a dab of that on
chutney
top.
or something?
No, I'd say like a sweet chili sauce
Like a
would probably
pickle,
do it for me.
yeah. Like a pickle.
Boom. And
Yeah.
you need either, depending on what mood you're in, either fries or some crisps on the side, so that you can occasionally, like, you know, jam those fucking bad boys in
Man,
there.
do you know what fucking...
I don't know what I'd call.
Subway,
I'd call it mine.
Do you know
'cause don't fucking try and take my sandwich,
Subway's been
Good
doing
question.
these nacho-covered chicken bites. you
dude.
can
Don't eat
buy.
from Subway.
No, I try not to, but when you put those things in your sandwich and then you eat it...
Something from Hannibal, maybe, like in a sandwich. Sounds like no long pork. Yeah, good answer. Yeah. Make a sandwich, Gary. Go
Make
on.
a sandwich go.
I'm terrible at this.
Yeah, it's a wonderful art to making a sandwich as
It
well. I
is,
like
yeah.
it when I
Yeah.
get some time at home and I can actually just like, I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I love
okay.
those Scooby Doo like,
Yeah.
I want
like things when I was a kid. Like,
That's
I
what I do.
want tiger bread,
Oh, nice.
and I want crispy, crusted tiger bread,
Okay.
soft,
Toasted or soft?
toasted,
Right.
layer of cheese,
Nice.
ham, some chopped sausages,
Oh, nice.
some pepperoni on there, some mayonnaise, and some slices of ham, some slices of beef. Yeah, I want all the meats.
You want all the meat?
I want all the meats.
Bring
There's no
all the
lettuce
meat.
going in this
bring me
one.
2 of every animal.
Yes, and put it between 2 pieces of bread.
What would you call it?
Full.
Full.
Hungry. I don't know. I'm terrible. Name a sandwich like. I mean, you've called yours Ian and
The-
you've called yours mine.
The life preserver, like, from being hungover.
I've never thought I'd be trying to name a sandwich at this point in my life.
Oh, I missed something from mine, by the way, but I only missed it because this is standard for every steak sandwich I ever make.
Okay.
I always get some onions in a pan, and I always fucking splash a bit of Jack Daniels or bourbon in there, cook the onions off into that, and then that goes on top of the lettuce. So I've got like bourbon or whiskey onions underneath my fucking thing. Shit, I'm hungry now. We're going to have to call this quits.
This whole conversation is taking me back to regular show, because there was this thing on there called the Death Sandwich, which was where I started constructing sandwiches.
Oh, that's what I'm calling my sandwich then.
Second breakfast?
Yes.
And basically you had to have a mullet and wear jean shorts, because if you ate it wrongly you would die.
Jeez.
Death Sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
Great question, man.
Great question. Alrighty, our last question is from Delady.
What up, the lady?
So, man.
What movie comes to mind that a popular good actor with a tremendously bad film?
So, I was just going to start singing Dunkachino.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest cinematic sins
Ow!
I've ever seen. Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
In Dunkachino. The entire sequence. Oh my god, that was...
I think he, at least though, he became the audience for a moment where he's like, you have to burn this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're like, yeah, no shit.
There's a horrible image that sits in the back of my head forever, and it's really horrible. Like, you know, when people start talking about Sallow and people start talking about like Serbian movie, it's like one of those images, right?
But there are no good actors in either of those, surely, are there?
Nicolas Cage, the Weatherman.
I haven't seen that.
It's great, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but it's the sequence where he finds out that his daughter's got a camel toe.
Yeah. Another answer to the question.
Movie?
Pretty much, because it flashes
Sean Connery
as a man.
in the Extraordinary Gentleman.
Oh yeah.
Such a great actor and such a terrible...
Sean Connery, Highlander 2.
Sean Connery too, yeah.
Any good actor in any of the Highlander sequels. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Dennis,
It's hard because I'm trying to think of like really
great
bad
actors
movies.
in terrible
Dennis
films.
Quaid, Jaws 3.
Yeah,
Michael Caine, Jaws 4.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Viggo Mortensen, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Oh, good one. Yeah, that is a bad film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I caught? This is off topic, but do you know what? I was flicking through the other day, and not only did I happen to come across The Prophecy.
Right. Oh, Viggo
It
Mortensen.
was right at the start of his speech.
Oh,
you know, when
nice.
after she's like, I met the devil. Oh, I was like, shit, I forgot how good this was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, man. I'm trying to think, like bad
Great
movies.
actor in a terrible film.
Christopher Walken, Click.
Yeah. I mean, this is real easy, isn't it? It's like, who are the guest stars
he had so
in
many.
any of the other family movies? Yeah.
Yeah,
Man. Morty. Oh, my God.
Christopher Walken, Joe Dare. Just kidding. They
He's
just
in
keep
jail
going
there,
to it,
isn't he?
man.
Yeah. That is true.
See, I really like Nick Nolte in Hulk, but Hulk's quite a bad movie when you compare it to like the Incredible Hulk. and the
Oh,
rest
sorry.
of
So Arnie in any of the Terminators past T1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dark Fate.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Batman and Robin.
yeah.
Jim Carrey, Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Because I do think he's a great actor.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Well, I suppose you answered it. Then you like Gary Oldman's in that fucking
In
RoboCop
RoboCop,
remake.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, all of them
RoboCop.
were wasted in that one.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
really good.
I'm trying to think of something recent that's been that bad, but I haven't seen anything that bad recently that's had a really tremendous.
A great performer.
Frank Langella, Eddie.
I think that's just clunky.
I think that's a good point to end it
I think
too.
he's drawn a beautiful line under it there.
Yeah. Oh, well, with
Great
that,
question.
I would just like to say thank you, everyone, for your wonderful, wonderful questions tonight. And, of course, a big thank you to Iain and Andy for helming part 2 of the podcast.
Welcome.
With Hannibal. And with that...
Go watch it. Get season 4 made. God damn it.
Hell yes. We want to see it trending again.
Yes.
We'll be back next month with another podcast, and the theme of that one will be another tournament style. Ooh. But we're not going to tell you what the theme for that one is yet, so hopefully we'll see you next month. Of course, new film reviews on Thursdays. You can find me on Twitch on Mondays and Wednesdays. Of course, you can find us also on Facebook, on Twitter, on Discord, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Peace.